good?
We're live.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second weekly 10th point tournament on MTGO. I'm very excited to be here, as with every week. I think everybody else is, too. It's pretty awesome. This week is Memorial Day weekend in the United States and possibly holidays elsewhere. I just don't know. So we do have a reduced player count. We only have 6 people here this week. But that's all right, because they're 6 awesome people, and we get to play a bunch of Canlander. For those of you who don't know what Canadian Highlander is, if you somehow stumbled into this stream from God knows where, Canadian Highlander is a 100-card singleton, 1v1, 20-life vintage format. So it's not Commander is the important thing to get at here. It's just like, Modern or Standard or whatever, but it's 100 cards. You only get 1 of each card, except for basics. And the ban list is all cards that are legal in Vintage. So the only things that are banned in Vintage are cards that aren't really Magic cards, like Shahrazad and whatever.
Stuff that doesn't work. The Vintage ban list is essentially made of conspiracies, anti-card, conspiracy card, and whatever the F Shahrazad is.
Right, exactly.
Well, dumb.
Exactly. So that means that cards that you've heard stories about, Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, you get to play them in this format. But, you might be asking me, that seems a little ridiculous. You get to play all the powerful cards? Well, no.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. As our name is a reference to, there's this thing called a points list. You get 10 points. And each powerful card that you choose, right? Things like the Power 9, Powerful Tutors, game warping cards like True Name Nemesis and
Jite,
thank you, Umezawa's Jite, or extremely powerful fair cards like Stoneforge Mystic, are all on the points list, and each of them have a points value. And whenever you put a card in your deck that has a points value, you add that to your points tally, and you only ever get 10 points. So a deck isn't legal if it goes over 10 points. So this lets you play incredibly powerful things like Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall. But if you do get to choose to play Ancestral Recall, you can't also play Black Lotus, right? You have to choose. And with many of the things in this format, the way that the point list is set up is to maximize deck diversity. The real strength of Canadian Highlander, and the reason that I think many of us love the format so much, is that it is competitive and, everybody's trying to be optimal. But with 100 cards, and you only get 1 of them, it's very difficult to solve the format. And the points list only exacerbates that issue, right? Blue decks for a long time now have had to choose between Ancestral Recall and a small point spread, right? So you either get Ancestral Recall and then maybe a couple tutors for Ancestral, or you get 10 cards that are all small points, right? Or 8 cards that are all small points or whatever. And both of those choices seem pretty much even. Many people would argue for one or the other, but they're both putting up fairly good results.
I don't know how much to buy that they're even. I think the ancestral spreads are a little better for the blue decks. I think that's pretty real. But in general, I mean, I don't want to undermine your point. It's definitely it's true that you definitely have to pick which type of point spread you want to do, and that does limit. And it's also true that in general the points list does end up meaning that you have more knobs to tune the format,
right?
Instead of having for example, essentially you view Ancestral Recall as if it was 70% banned, right, in a way.
Right.
So that it's essentially you have more granularity in terms of a card isn't just either allowed or banned. You can have this soft banning kinda, this card is 10% banned because it's strong,
right.
But so that means that you have a lot more variables to tune in order to make the format jive and make the format as diverse as possible.
Right. And then the other thing is, cards go back forever. There are some jank cards from, Judgment that have never been played anywhere else, but they get to see play in this format because if you want one of an effect, right, usually you want as many of that effect as you can get. Like, see lightning strikes, right? You've got lightning strike and searing spear and incinerate. But you also have to delve as deep as incendiary flow, volcanic hammer, and fire ambush.
And chain of plasma.
Chain of plasma, maybe. Like, when you want as many of an effect as you can get, and you get access to this many cards, people get to play some really sweet cards and be optimal about it. Yep. So, anyway, enough about the format. We're going to play it, and you're going to see how sweet it is. If you think this is extremely sweet, which I think you will, and you want to come and play with us, we run this every week at 10 a.m. PST, which is 1 p.m. EST, and 17 hours CEST. I can't remember. We run this every week. It's on Saturday. It's on MTGO. All you have to do is come and join the Canadian Highlander Discord. There's a link in the description of the stream and of a video, if you're watching a video of this, to come and join the Discord. Even if you don't want to come and play in the tournaments, if you think Canlander is sweet, you should come and join the Discord. There are a ton of awesome people on there. There are people who are as new as you and people who are as old as, like, Ben Wheeler and stuff like that, who have been playing the format since, I don't know, the early 2000s in Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, since the format started, right? However long.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, you can come and play in this. Just come and join the Canlander Discord, put together a deck, and come fight on Moto. I think that's everything for introductions, if I remember correctly. Am I missing anything? I hope not.
I think that there's gonna be. Let me see if I got that to work.
I am missing something.
Oh yeah, there you go. There is, if you type !Discord in chat, that should
wait. Does that work actually?
Pop a link to the Discord. Yeah, I just
That's
tried.
Awesome. That's so sweet.
MTG bot.
Right?
Yeah,
okay,
MTG
so...
OP. So, I set this up a few months ago, so I think the link is still current, but I believe it is. So, yeah.
I'm going to post pairings in a second. When
19.
You get... 19 hour? Look,
It says Joe ST, who is in Central Europe right now.
Yeah, it's a time in Central Europe. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
It's fine. What about it?
I'll post the pairings in chat in just a second. When you get your pairings, the first person on the pairings, it'll be person v person. Person 1, right, is going to start a vintage format challenge on MTGO in the Getting Serious room with the title of, like, I don't know, the 10th point and then whoever they're playing against. And then you'll just fight there. It makes that easier for us to come in, comment, look at the watch the game. There we go. And
look at the watch.
Comment on it. And it also makes it easier to, like, tell who you're supposed to be paired against.
Yeah. One matchup will be flagged as the
right.
Feature match. Thank you. And that those people will receive instructions from me on how to get things going.
So I'm about to post pairings in just a moment. I gotta actually copy and paste it from my Google document. Here we go. There are your pairings. Good luck, everybody. Separate out into rooms and whatever. When you start your match, go and separate out into a different voice chat room on Discord. You can either talk to each other or not, but it makes it easier for us to come and talk to you if we need to tell you something about your match.
Oh, okay, so I need to...
Separate out into your games, nerds.
Yeah.
Hey, making the games again.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot.
Did Windy just leave?
No, Nashty and Ethobach already left, and I needed to talk to them for the thing. But I'll see if I can. Okay.
I can go and grab them. Give me just a moment.
Okay, I'll hold things up. Just tell them to call us at the right email address. To start a call at the email address, and I can take it from there. All right.
Okay.
So, we're about to.
Nash and Ethobach can both come back. You guys are the feature match.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Can you guys? Do you guys know the email address? Do you guys know the email address Actually, I'm gonna mute myself in the...
Smart choice. I'm going to pretend to be entertaining. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got some sweet matchups this week. One of the things that's most exciting to me about this format on MTGO is that like the use of deck rental services is like way more important to this format than like modern or whatever, because like individual lists are so variable and there are so many viable decks that oftentimes people want to like switch between different decks. I'm definitely the kind of person who will only play the deck that I like the most, which is red green aggro, and just get really good at that and play that forever. But a ton of people like to see the variety in the format and play as many decks as they can, and you know, once they like a list, they'll tune it up a little bit and change cards around. So a lot of people use something like, I don't know, mana traders or whatever, and that gives them access to swapping out like cards and decks and whatever, which means that we have players who are bringing completely different decks to last week, which is really exciting. And we got a cool spread of decks. It's awesome. God, I love Highlander. We're 2 weeks in. This is the second week of this tournament. Hopefully next weekend we will have a little bit more players than this time, but we'll see. Come and play with us if you think it looks cool.
There we go.
Just waiting a quick moment for the tech setup to happen. Oh my god, that's so funny. So obviously you can't see this, but on Moto there's like current and past games for the Vintage Getting Serious challenge thing, and there's Ari Wilds and WindyDelCarlo, which is not a match, and that is completed, and then Ari Wilds and Gozmit, which is the match, and that's going. Windy found the wrong game. So I'll go into a little more detail while we're.
Can you still hear me, RedMage?
Cool. I think setup's almost done. Ooh. Okay. Here we go.
We're gonna pop over to the tempo room then.
Sweet. Fantastic. So we have everything set up.
Yeah, I think everything is at least close to being set up. So we are as soon as the game hasn't started yet, but as soon as it does.
Oh. There we go. I think, right? Am I?
Yeah.
Neither of them have the correct, or neither of them have a name that actually correlates with their name on Discord.
No.
But
This is the right people for sure.
Okay.
Give me a second to set the window so that we can actually see what's happening, and we should be ready to go.
Oh, I'm excited. We've got chats. 2 people. I think they both kept 7s, which is cool. So normally in Canlander we have the
Moto.
Sorensen mulligan, but on Moto obviously there's no way to reasonably implement the Sorensen, so we're just operating the Vancouver on Moto, which changes the meta just a little bit, but you know, I'm sure it's fine. Which one is with? Is Injun Joe the all caps one? And
no, that's Nashty.
Am I dumb?
Injun Joe is Gambler of Foxes.
So wait. It's Nashty versus Ethobach.
Sorry, Ethobach is Gambler of Foxes.
Ethobach is Gambler. Nashty is the long string of text. Etho opening with 2 powerful 1-mana selection spells. He is on blue-white control, and Nashty's on, I think, medium green or big green, which are both sweet decks. Just passing through here.
All right.
Not the start you want to see out of really any deck. Playing 2 basics and then doing nothing with them kind of sucks over on the green side.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but
Nimbus Maze. Card sweet. And now Etho has settled into the control, play a land and pass. Plays Eldrazi Temple from Nashty. And he's starting to actually play cards. Let's see what bomb this is. Or not. Or yes. Plays Wall of Roots. Sure. Wall of Roots is going to eat a Spell Snare. Yikes. Yeah, Nimbus Maze is online as a 2-color land. What do you need? You need like only if you have a plains, only if you have an island. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it cannot double color, but it always fixes your mana. I think that's how that works.
Yes, the mazes are one of the only cycles out of the Future Sight lands that I kind of don't want to see finished. It's Nimbus Maze and River of Tears because they're too complicated.
I think Nimbus Maze is not that complicated. It's pretty inoffensive. I'm having some trouble setting up the actual hand camps here, which is unfortunate, but
yeah. That should be done in just a moment. Plays out Courser Crufix from Nashty. I can't imagine this Courser is gonna resolve. No.
I would be shocked.
Yeah, I would be blown away. Nashty plays Eye of Ugin. Eye of Ugin is the one that makes colorless Eldrazi spells cost 2 less to cast, and then you can pay 7 and tap, and you don't have to sack it. Just 7 and tap, and you get a colorless.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So sweet.
Oh, I didn't count for your setup either. Let me fix that real quickly. Oh, you're... no,
I did have Wood Elves.
What else?
Yeah, Wood Elves.
Yeah, no, I know. Just
Test for 5. Mystic Confluence? Yeah. Counter draw out of this Mystic Confluence. Brings Etho back up to 5 cards in hand. I think this game is entirely outside of Nashty's control at this point. Like, if you're the aggressive deck and you're versus control and you don't establish a threat on turn 1 or turn 2, you're pretty much just done.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's not quite that bad, but it's close.
Yeah.
Like, you can just manage to sleep a threat through it if you like build your hand correctly, but it's rough.
Yeah, it's definitely tough if you don't have the 1 or 2 mana creature. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Going to Fate Seal immediately. Etho, I think, correctly assessing that, like, maybe his hand is particularly strong, and with this Jace, he just wants to end the game and have it be over with.
Yeah, especially if we see Jace go up. That's he did go up.
Yeah, Jace takes up to 5.
Jace going up usually means, okay, I'm ready to end this game now.
Yeah, Nissa Voice of Zendikar eats a literal actual counterspell.
Not literal actual counterspell.
Yeah, blue, man. Was that the Jace's signature spellbook? Jace counterspell?
Is that even on Moto?
No, I think that art was used. No,
the
different
art was
art.
in the dual deck. Was in the Jace.
Yeah.
So that might have been in. I don't know that they printed the.
Etho plays Karakas and passes. This is rough for Nashty. Plays a Nature's Lore. I imagine this is gonna resolve. Yeah. Nature's Lore gets Dryad Arbor. That's hilarious. I mean, that's just turning on probably the 1 white removal spell Etho has in his hand.
Mm.
Nashty just Nature's Lores a Dryad Arbor and passes. Etho is going to Field of Ruin the Eldrazi Temple. which I mean, fair enough. And then opt. Sure. Sweet opt. Did you know the foil, the old border foil opt is like $30 or something?
Oh, no, I am perfectly aware.
Yeah.
I tried to
Impulse.
get one of those. I think it's like $3 to get the non-foil one.
Yeah, I know, right? It's sweet though.
I randomly found one of those in my collection, and I was like, sweet.
Opt and Impulse is just a great way to sculpt your hand more. Jace is gonna uptick. So the Dryad Arbor being on the field means that Jace is 1 turn slower to ult, right?
Well,
I'm
I
looking
mean,
at this
it means
correctly.
that essentially it goes up by 1 every turn instead of 2. Right?
Yeah. So actually several turns slower to...
Yeah, potentially several turns slower.
Alright.
Alright, it was a long and harrowing journey, but we do have a hand.
But we're up? Oh, man. Oh, it looks so sweet.
Except for the fact that apparently we do not, in fact, have hand cams for player 1. But...
You don't have a camera for me, it's just Moto.
No, because, like... Okay.
I'm invisible.
Okay, now it should be working.
And the player names are entirely correct.
The player names are definitely not correct. We're still working on it.
Nissa voices Zendikar, or Nissa Vital Force eats Condescend. And Etho's gonna scry too. Yeah, this game was over a long time ago. And Etho's gonna tap out for Factor Fiction. Showing Gideon Jura, which is the 5-mana Chad, Plains Flooded Strand, Miscalc V-Click. What's your split here? Like, I mean, it kind of doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the old end of turn Factor Fiction you lose.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so Etho, the pile was split. Did you guys get to see the pile on the stream? Yes. So the pile was split, and Etho chose the pile with the Planeswalker and the land in it. Gonna uptick Jace. We're 2 turns away from Jace just ending the game. Big Chad downtick to kill the Dryad Arbor, which was tapped at the time.
Yeah.
This is just insurmountable.
This game is just not a game. It has barely been for a while, but we're reaching increasing amounts of not a game.
Tireless Striker eats Pact of Negation because, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, because why not?
What's the last card in hand? Negate. Sure.
Negate, yeah.
Oh, wow. Really rough hand from Nashty.
Bunch of
on
uncastables.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. Taking out the colorless source with the Field of Ruin turned out to be way more valuable.
Really, really good, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that would encourage the players to put like a wastes in? Because you can hit waste off of Field of Ruin, right?
Yeah, it's a basic land. You can definitely get it.
I don't know. I feel like if you're on a medium deck, you owe it to yourself to play a waste.
I think
Narset?
you can play as waste. It's definitely
Narset Parter Veils? Ugh.
Yeah, Narset Parter Veils. That's a spicy one.
I mean, like, it's spicy, but it's also just not that good in my opinion.
No, I think it's a meta call. Like, you play Narset if you expect a bunch of control. That's pretty much what they.
Yeah, if you expect to see a lot of blue decks, then Narset is your girl there. Jace is gonna downtick and end the game. Here, like ult and it's over. Yeah.
Nice 4-card library you have over there. It would be a shame if
right.
something happened to it.
Gozmit 1-2-0 in his match. I'm gonna put that in. So 1-2-0.
Yeah, I'm sorry if it took approximately 70 billion hours to get things set up. But my computer was being a little dumb Yeah.
Yeah, Nashty
Ethobach,
just concedes.
yeah, I mean, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it was pretty over at that point.
It was pretty over. I mean, after Jace ultimates, the game is over, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's again, it's really rough. These medium decks against control really can't afford to keep 7-card hands that don't have like immediate acceleration into a powerful threat, possibly even an unanswerable threat, or a threat that's hard to answer,
Yeah.
as hard to answer as possible. And when you just don't have that early, like, mana crypt land 3-drop kind of hand,
I mean, you just need that pressure. It kind of doesn't matter in what form it comes, but
yeah, you just need to apply pressure
play the
as soon as possible.
Essentially.
And hands where you fetch a Bayou and do nothing on turn 1 are just not it.
That's not gonna do it. No.
Yeah, I mean, he mulls to 5 on that hand, right?
I think
and you can
to 5, yeah.
You can see here how important the Sorensen Mulligan is to these medium decks. Like they rely on it so much to find these kinds of hands against control. I mean, and other decks obviously, but Sanctum Mabugan. Is that the one that you can sack it and sure?
Sanctum Mabugan is the one that when you cast a 7 cost or more spell, you can sack it to find
a colorless creature.
Yeah, I think something like that.
I mean, it's a land. Sweet.
It's colorless source become a thing. It's fine.
Yeah. Plays Celestial Colonnade and passes. Dude, Etho's hand is just insurmountable.
Yeah, I don't understand how any of these get beaten. He's gonna make 2 angels here.
And he just passed.
No.
Nashty, it's over at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually quite a good draw for him, because it's a draw that says, look, I'm gonna go shields down for 1 turn, but it's fine, because now this game is gonna be over in 3 turns, and whatever you do, I have all the tools to answer it.
That guy's cradle art is choice. I'm a huge fan of it.
I'm a fan of the classics. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I understand. You're one of the like old school players though. You like the older stuff.
Yeah.
I'm into it too, but
old frame, best frame. Nashty couldn't even punish Etho for tapping out at all.
Yeah. Plays out an Arbor Elf. God.
Yeah, he gets Arbor Elf gets
it's
maximum rudeness. Yeah, Etho I think expected a lot of control. You see that he's playing both Negate and Dovin Sphere in his deck. He has the Narset. Like I think
both Negate and Dovin's Veto are auto includes in blue-white control.
I think at
just
1
because of the prevalence of non-creature spells.
Well, I think at 1 is. I think at if you want to play both, maybe like I think it's justifiable. If you're in blue-white, I think it's justifiable to have the Negate.
Hard Select to See Beyond. Voyaging Satyr's probably gonna get countered. I don't know.
Do you even care? You haven't let it resolve, and it's not gonna do anything before.
Oh, and then your opponent dies.
Your opponent's you're at 3 life.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the problem with the medium decks. When the London was on Moto, it was consistent to find your early explosive hands, but with the what's it called, Vancouver Mulligan?
Yeah.
The like 7-6-5-4 and then you scry. You just can't hit those kind of hands nearly as consistently, and that's just. You know, as we saw here, that was just the death knell.
Yeah, it just
so that game goes to Etho.
It just gave control too much time to set things up, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to like apply pressure on turn 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, but you're not an aggro deck, right? You're a mid-range deck, so you kind of have to.
I mean, that's why control eats mid-range, right?
Yeah.
It's because mid-range cannot always consistently apply early pressure and hold it there.
Shall we watch some other match while we wait for the next round? I see that Windy and Injun are still going.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe close the bottom window of the hand cam. I'm seeing Discord.
It's fine.
Details. Which game? Yeah. So this is Windy is on blue red spells or blue red tempo, which is a classic from him, and Injun Joe is on High Tide, mono blue High Tide.
Yep.
I think the budget High Tide list from a while ago.
Yeah, I think it's the same list that he was running last week.
Peregrine Drake, and we're seeing him in the middle of going off here on High Tide. Windy seemed to get pretty stuck on a couple of lands. High Tide's got the High Tide player has 6, and Windy has 2.
Yeah, we're not gonna have We're not gonna have hand for this game, sadly, because we don't want to like go bother the players and tell them to set hand cam up while we wait. But we have watched some Magic.
Did you see that sick play? He engulfed the shore to bounce his own Peregrine Drake to play it and generate more mana.
Nice.
That was dope. Narset's gonna downtick here. I'm still really low on Narset. Maybe people could prove me wrong eventually, but like I don't know, man. I think this is the deck to play Narset though. If you're playing Time Twister and
if Time Twister is in your deck, Narset suddenly becomes a lot more appealing.
Right, and the other thing is like High Tide doesn't really care about maintaining board presence, so almost always Narset's just gonna be play it and downtick, and so what if it dies, right? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it digs,
going to
like double impulse digs pretty deep to find your High Tide, which is the name of the game here.
Mind's Desire hits Preordained, Remand, Island, Back to Basics, Island, and Get Probe. Not the stack you want to see, right?
Do we know what the score is?
No, and I don't know if there's any way for us to tell.
Well, so the people to the stream are being treated to
a match. We're gonna see.
I
like the question mark. That's really. God, the stream looks so slick. I'm really happy with it. Huge props to 404 who did our graphic design art. He's played in these tournaments before when it was on XMage like a year ago. And he's like a good friend of the stream.
Yeah, 404 has redone our all graphics and logo and everything. And
Frantic Search draws 2 cards, discards 2 island, untap 3 land. I mean, okay, so this is sweet. Storm counts 12, right? But this is one of the ways that High Tide fizzles. Don't find anything.
Oh, the
tower.
Foff
hits Sentinel Tower.
Yeah, Sentinel Tower is a way to action.
Yeah. So the split doesn't matter here. I imagine Windy's gonna split Sentinel Tower and then the other 4.
Yeah, I mean you could do that. Is High Tide is in the graveyard, right?
High Tide is in the graveyard, yes.
So Mission Briefing is actually also quite strong. I think Windy
chooses to keep Mission Briefing. What win con does he have in his hand?
Maybe he has Brain Freeze.
And he passes.
Never mind then.
No, he's gonna get probe before passing. Goes to second main and get probe. I
mean, did he have any mana floating?
He has 1 island untapped, so that would be. So no mana floating, and he's just gonna pass. Mono blue High Tide, man. Sometimes you just don't actually kill them when you go off with High Tide.
Okay, so the thing is...
Giga Drowses.
I don't like the Giga Drowse. Oh no, never mind. It was... Yeah, no, that's fine. So the thing that I don't... So Windy is clearly stuck on lands, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like this game was over already, but like...
Well, I mean, I don't know, because Windy's deck has a pretty strong archetypal advantage. And the Ninja is at 8 life. Yeah. Like, he only needs to hit a couple bolts, right, to die.
Tempo versus combo is usually fairly tempo favored. I think had Windy hit more lanes this game, we would have seen a very different game.
I'm not saying this game is completely over.
You don't think so? I mean, he's got Treasure Cruise now, which is just going to draw 3 cards. He's got a Mission Briefing to I don't know, fix like scry 2 and then recast his High Tide.
Also, Windy kind of being hoisted by his own petard here with this back to basics that he's
right. Yeah. Windy. I think Windy plays both back to basics and Blood Moon.
I think he plays all three. He also plays like back to basics, Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon.
Magus of the Moon. Sure. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I want to say.
Easy spell for Mystical Tutor to hit mana drain. What? Is there something that you can get with Mystical Tutor that just wins you the game in Mono Blue High?
I mean, if you have a bunch of stone, there's Brain Freeze, or if you have a bunch of mana, there's the Stroke of Genius.
Sure, Stroke of Genius. Is there a tutor that you could hit with Mystical Tutor that could get you Palancron? If you have 7 lands, you tap 3 of them. You don't even have enough mana to go infinite with Palancron anyway. No, you do. Never mind. I'm done.
Well, no. Does you have mission briefing for High Tide, right?
Yeah.
Windy found an island. That's pretty huge potential.
Yeah. So now we have island and mountain. It means that Windy's live for a counterspell here. About probably 90%. Gonna mission briefing, and I imagine either mission briefing or High Tide probably.
Yeah, High Tide is gonna get counter.
Yeah. Because if you counter the
want to make sure that the High Tide gets exiled is the thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is how that works. I would have to read mission briefing.
Yeah. Think so.
If it was Snapcaster Mage, it would get exiled. I don't know how this discounts Snapcaster Mages.
High Tide's probably... So High Tide resolves into exile. Injun Joe has 1 High Tide active.
Alright.
Going to Twister. And here you see the Twister Narset interaction. I think that's probably the big draw to Narset is the Spirit of the Labyrinth.
If Time Twister is in your deck,
I'm much more positive.
You can do something proactive with it, which is quite strong. There is more of a question. I think that there is like at some point you're like, okay, but this card doesn't like. If I'm planning to face a bunch of control decks and I'm a control deck, this card does draw 2 cards. So maybe like that ends up being good enough. But
it draws
if you
2
want
cards
to play,
and
quote unquote fair Narset, that's definitely more of a miracle. You need to be certain that there will be a bunch of control decks that you'll be facing.
The Fire Side of Fire Ice to deal 1 damage to Narset, and Injun Joe obviously mana drains that. We saw him tutor for mana drain earlier.
I mean, he's about to lose his hand anyway, right? So well, I mean, the reason is maybe the mana, but
why does Windy have 1 blue floating? High Tide is active for player.
Yeah, High Tide is magical.
High Tide is a great card. Treachery on his own Peregrine Drake, and Treachery resolves untapping more lands. This Peregrine Drake has proved invaluable for generating mana with High Tide. Candelabra, I mean that's as good as it gets, huh?
Yeah, Candelabra is pretty good.
Candelabra X=8 here. Untap all your lands, you have access to 17 mana at that point.
Billion mana, I think. I think it's 11 squillion mana.
Approximately.
I did the math. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Windy has 1 card in hand, but it could be any card in the deck. And if it's like Spell Pierce, this is going to be so sick.
Candelabra is such a fundamental card for like how some of these lists work. Like for example, like CDH High Tide list play bounce spells to just bounce your Candelabra. Like they play like
what?
Yeah, they play like
so
Steel Sabotage, and one of the mods of Steel Sabotage is like bounce your own Candelabra, so that you can replay it and do the thing again.
Time Spirals, the other wheel, which is going to be again sick with Narset.
And now Wind is gonna draw 0 cards instead of 1, because he already drew a card this turn.
Time Spiral. Did Time Spiral not untap?
It's still resolving.
No, the untap is still resolving.
Yeah. Oof. It's yeah.
Moto scared me.
Gozmit informs that CDH doesn't play Candelabra. I've seen I've seen some
Cycles,
of those lists, but maybe it was just a long time ago.
Yeah. Cycles of Cloud of Fairies. Storm count's 11. Hopefully we have literally anything to actually end the game here.
But the problem is that the only storm spell is that you can play mono blue is Brainstorm. So
yeah,
it's sorry, Brain Freeze. And that in 12 storm is not enough to heal with Brain Freeze. So it's not a race to make storm, it's a race to make mana.
Yeah, this is the reason that I think blue black high tide is so much better than mono blue, is that for 2 turns now, had Injun Joe been playing blue black, he could have just
probably won. Yeah,
mystical tutored for tendrils and killed.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, because he's on mono blue,
he was a bit unlucky because he hasn't hit any of the other payoffs. Like he does have stuff like either Flux Reservoir and
Sentinel
Tower, I think, is the one that you saw earlier that like can actually kill if they're on the battlefield. But if you want a spell that kills, that's just Brain Freeze. I'm gonna eat a donut.
You're gonna eat a donut?
I'm gonna eat a donut. It's happening.
What kind of donut is it?
It's just a donut.
What the fuck does that mean? There are like varieties of donuts. You don't just get to say, oh, it's just a donut. Whatever. Is it like glazed or
it's just a chocolate
jelly?
glazed donut. Just like
chocolate glazed, sure.
Vanilla chocolate glazed donut. Nothing fancy here.
Cruises again. Draws 3 more cards. Up to 7 in hand. God, this is just... Oof. Why did they ever print Candelabra of Thanos, if not to break exactly High Tide? Right?
Wasn't Candelabra printed before High Tide?
What design is Candelabra of Thanos?
So Candelabra was in Antiquities, and I think High Tide was in Fallen Empires?
What a ridiculous card.
So I think it's actually Candelabra was printed before.
Though, from the Mono promo? Oh, yeah. Like, the candle over the mountain range on that list is so dope. Swings in and just passes. What is happening here? Injunjo has 7 cards in hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think Injunjo was just going for, like, attack.
So that was the end of that match.
Yeah, the game one I lost because I'm stupid.
Realtek R? What?
Killed my Electrode with itself.
Are other people talking right now?
Yes.
Oh, god damn it. I cannot hear any of you. Give me a moment.
I'm salty. Feels so
Hello.
Feels so
I
bad.
can hear you again. What's up?
I shot my Electrode with itself.
Windy, what was the end of your
2-0
match?
for them.
2-0, sure.
2-0 them. I shot my Electrode with itself game 1 and lost the game.
Windy versus the Insane. It's 2-0. Okay, so I'm gonna mute myself and do pairings. If you will just give me 1 moment.
All right.
Yeah.
So this was we saw some powerful Magic. We got to saw the High Tide matchup going on in in the first in the last part. We got to see some unfortunate medium green opening hands in the first in the Fisher match, while blue white control just set things up and eventually was like, well, I mean, now I am set up and my deck is just capable of doing crazy powerful stuff. What are the impression of the players on what's going on how the tournament is going so far?
I mean, I got just countered into the dirt on that match. That my deck did not do what it wanted to do, but I believe Ethobach's deck definitely did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, which is just play lands and hold counter spells up and then use those counter spells.
I really needed to see some sort of fast mana. A turn 1 channel into Kozilek would have been probably the best way to go about that, but alas, it didn't show up.
Yeah, we were talking about that on coverage. Like both of their hands were really fair hands, whereas like I find that with medium green, you definitely, with medium decks in general, you kind of want to have a deck that can accelerate into like a very early, like you don't need to go crazy, but even like a turn 2 like 4-drop or something, right? Like that can be quite backbreaking, and we were wondering if part of the reason that the hands were less favorable has to do with the new mulligan system, well, with the old mulligan system, which now
Right.
we're back to Vancouver mulligan instead of
Vancouver?
London
Yeah.
mulligan on Magic Online, and that might be related to, you know, you have less freedom to mulligan hand to find broken starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like,
Yeah.
and that's not a medium green build. That is a big green build.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
big green build? That
Green
is...
all the way to...
I think
It
big
definitely
green
does
is
look medium.
even worse with
What is the difference between big green and Cradle Hoof? Because those are like, I always considered that, like, oh, the big green deck, that's Cradle Hoof. That's what that's the green deck that is cast into trying to have giant idiots, right?
It's like Cradle Hoof, but your payoff isn't natural order Cradle Hoof. It's casting like a 6-drop every turn for 3 turns in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to cast 10 drops in this deck,
Yeah, exactly.
possibly.
Hard cast Ulamog usually ends game. Alright. I am going to... I have new pairings. I'm going to post the pairings. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Good to hear it. There are your pairings. If you are in the feature match, stay here. If you're not in the feature match, the first person on the list is going to start a vintage format challenge in the Getting Serious room on MTGO, and then you'll separate out into different voice chat rooms on Discord. The feature match, you're going to do the same thing, but just stay here. We have to set up getting your hand cams.
But I mean, I think that both
Excuse me.
Barbells and Injunjo has done this has advanced this tango before.
Yeah,
so
but
they
both
should
of you
probably-
have been... Yeah.
So they I think they know the drill. Just give me a call at the email address that you are aware,
What's up?
and we can get things set up.
Dude. Oh. Our overlays are so sick. I am very pleased with them.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I guess I'll talk a little bit more about kind of how the Vancouver versus the Sorensen changes the format. The format's very blue, but that's a thing that's...
But that's just
But
how
that is very-
these formats work, right? Like, I don't think
Right,
that
exactly.
that is...
Well, I think that there are a lot of really good non-blue decks in Canlander, but for a lot of people, when they hear about Canadian Highlander and they see, like, the points list, they go, oh my god, I get to play all these sweet blue cards, right? And, like, for a lot of people, there's no format where you get to play Brainstorm or, Impulse fairly, and have it be good. And so a lot of people are drawn to blue decks and maybe, high color, multicolor decks. And that makes the format a little bit slower and grindier than it necessarily has to be. Like, there are really powerful aggro and combo decks in the format. But one thing that the Vancouver does is it benefits these, like, slower, grindier blue decks or high color mid-range decks, because the decks that normally prey on them, combo, aggro, the medium decks, kind of rely on the a little bit added consistency of the Vancouver or the London to actually get there with hands that kill their opponent.
Yeah.
And when they don't find him, it's really rough.
What email do I have to call you at or whatever?
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Canadian Highlander.
Don't say it on the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I did not mean to dox the stream.
Yeah, just don't dox the stream.
We don't have a Twitter for this.
We
Do
don't
we?
have a
We
Twitter.
do have
We
a Twitter.
should. No, I don't think we do.
Shit.
We should have it.
Do we? I got Twitter. Let's find out.
But-
Oh man. I want to, I guess, while we're waiting in the middle, I can quickly shout out other people making content for Canlander, because I think it's important and cool that people make content for this format. Format's small right now. I mean, admittedly, it's not as large as, say, Modern or Standard or something like that. And so every content creator that gets into this, that does tournaments or streams or whatever, is important. And so I just want to say, go check out Ben Wheeler. He's been doing this format forever. Go check out Jer White. He's been doing this format forever. Both of them stream on Twitch with some frequency. And then there are people in the Canadian hub make content for the format. I think. Oh God, let me not forget anybody.
Hapless has been doing stuff, and
Hapless
Lowman has.
MTG.
On
There
Twitch,
have been a couple
like
of
I think
people.
Lowman has videos on
Lowman, that's
on
the person I was
YouTube for sure.
Yeah, Lowman02 does videos on YouTube. He's a little rambly, but he does super get into like the
yeah. He's
very
very good at
minute
getting into the
of a deck.
minutiae of stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get the call set up for Barbells.
We're close to streaming. There's Hapless MTG who has made, I think, videos for Highlander. There is Samson01, I think.
I think it's just
Samson
Samson 1.
Something like that.
Samson 1? I don't remember.
And he streams other games, but I think he's also streamed Highlander in the past. And then there are a couple of people who have made videos for Highlander. I remember meeting an extremely nice person from the Highlander Discord at GP Vancouver, who put together this like sweet video from GP Van. I don't know where it is or how you would find it, but I'm sure he'll make something again in the future.
I absolutely remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. So yeah, get into this format. I mean, this is probably the best the format has ever been.
In terms of online
Vancouver...
representation, for sure. In general, also in terms of how sweet the format is, but the format has always been sweet.
I mean, the format has always been sweet, but it's especially sweet right now. I think probably the Vancouver or the Sorensen Mulligan needs to change eventually, but until it does, the format's still in kind of a good spot. You can play some sweet stuff. New cards are coming out from the format from every set. War of the Spark has been huge for Highlander. And then Modern Horizons
is
yeah, if you have been checking out the spoilers, Modern Horizons is so sweet.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be very good for the format.
So Injun just has not shared his hand yet. I'm having the usual difficulty setting up.
That said, we're seeing Barbells versus Injun Joe. So Barbells check Thieves, which I presume is check pile. That's 4-color, no white, with the kind of Thieves sub theme from the vintage deck, if I remember correctly, is where Grixis Thieves is from.
Yeah, although now like there's a Legacy Thieves deck too.
Yeah, isn't there a Legacy deck? I don't know. I don't follow Vintage and Legacy. Maybe it's close.
So it plays Thief of Sanity. That's why. That's like I think I don't even know if it's Grix. I think it's Grixis. Yeah.
Something like that. Injun Joe is sculpting his hand. Check pile is usually a fairly slow mid-range deck. They play kind of a control game for a mid-range deck. And so seeing this kind of hand where you just play out 4 lands of a bunch of different colors. I mean, and there it is, Thief of Sanity, the eponymous.
Check pile is a control deck. That's
pretty much.
It's not really a mid-range deck. It's all like I think that's just a mischaracterization.
Fair enough. Pardon me. Plays out Thief of Sanity, which eats a counterspell. I mean, there's the eponymous thief from Grixis Thieves.
Or a thief, at least. We don't know if it's
one of the thieves.
Yeah.
Maybe let me look at the list because he might be playing like Thief of Sanity and a bunch of other stuff. Dak Faden's almost definitely in the list. And then Injun Joe is obviously on Mono Blue.
Yeah, Injun Joe still hasn't shared his hand, which is unfortunate.
You are... I can go and ask them to do that, if you would like. Are they in the Discord? They're right here. That's hilarious. Injun Joe's just sitting here and is like not sharing his hand. That's fine. So, in terms of Thieves, we've got Hostage Taker, Gonti Lord of Luxury, Notion Thief, That was the other thief of thieves, I believe.
Yeah,
Thief
no
of
chunk
Sanity.
Thief of Sanity, we see it right there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let me fix the text.
Right. Oh, back to basics.
Back to
Pardon me.
basics? Oh,
Back to
baby.
basics. No, probably no basics. Actually.
Yeah, I'm assuming no basics.
I would
right?
imagine no, one forest and one swamp.
Okay.
That is the most backbreaking back to basics I think I've ever seen. It's just over. Wow.
Yeah, this
and
is not
this
looking
is...
great for sure.
No. Oh, we've assembled Narset Time Twister a second time.
Maybe the deck can find Time Twister as aggressively as this deck can. This whole
I mean, yeah.
This
is
whole
why
Narset
Narset
Time Twister thing is
so
actually pretty scary.
Yeah, this is when one snow-covered island. That's why I didn't see it in the list.
Snow.
This is when Narset is so good. Like I think fair Narset, quote unquote fair Narset, where you're just like playing Narset to draw 2 cards is not that good. But combo Narset like this, where you go turn 3 Narset, turn 4 Time Twister, and your opponent just looks at their hand and softly sobs. That's the ideal.
Again, I think at fair Narset is just like it's a meta call. I don't think I think you keep saying it's not good. I think it's good if you call the meta right.
Right.
If you're going to be playing
super
against
slow,
a bunch of control decks, the card is very potent. The fact that you blank all of their stupid draw spells, nice treasure cruise, idiot. Like
dumbass. Yeah, we're Verdant Catacombs here. Yeah, I think it's not as bad as I make it out to be, but it's
like, definitely, I don't think it's a card that you want in a vacuum. No. I think it's a card. Barbells has assembled both of his 2 of his duals, so 2 of his basics. So we might have something resembling a game here.
Could you change the question mark to 0-0?
I could.
And I think now we get to see the hand because that's how. Yeah, that's how revealed cards work. So we took Snapcaster with, right? Let me scroll around here and try to find it. Yeah, we took Inquisition. No. Yes? No. Injinjo discarded Snapcaster Mage for a different effect. And Inquisition hit nothing, despite the fact that I can't really tell what happened this Inquisition, and I think it's fine. Yeah. I mean, and this is so the high color decks, right, have little predators in the meta. Like Blood Moon decks and Back to Basics decks aren't what they used to be. Blue Moon is still good, but it's not the kind of dominant format warping force it once was. And
to be fair, I think part of it is that people are just building their mana bases better, but
exactly.
Blood Moon is in no way not a good card. In no way.
No, yeah.
But
it's still very good. Like Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon and Back to Basics, as we see here, are still very strong. But like there are matchups where they're very bad and matchups where nuts.
Barbells correctly separating Snap and Cloud of Fairies.
Yeah. Snap and Cloud of Fairies is just a ton of mana, right?
And I think Injunjo has exploded. That's the only.
Injunjo chose Snap and Intuition and puts Cloud of Fairies, Repeal, and Braingeyser. So he's gotta cast something or play a land. Got 8 cards in hand. You're gonna have to discard eventually.
Yeah.
No. Goes up to 10 cards in hand by treasure cruising. There's
to be fair, to be fair, like, that's not a bad problem to have.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no effective way to empty. So we're just gonna see him discard the hand size.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Like, I don't think it sucks that much. I think he's perfectly okay with it.
Probably gonna see an end step intuition. Never mind. Intuition. How does intuition work? You search a library, chooses one of them, and the other one goes in the graveyard. Yeah. So you get back what mission briefing, High Tide, and Flood of Recollection, and then you just get High Tide. Or you could Merchant Scroll and just get High Tide. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
So High Tides.
All of those are things you can do.
So Sentinel Tower deals 2 here. How many cards? I'm gonna say 3 more cards to kill. Yeah. So there's 1 with Preordain, 2 with Impulse, and then yeah, we're gonna see the 3rd one almost definitely, and the kill here. Generates a shitload of mana and time spiral kill. So yeah, that is one of the win cons of mining Sentinel Tower, and obviously back to basicing your opponent out of the game.
When your opponent can't play Magic, that's usually good for you.
Yeah, you're generally in a going on to game 2.
Okay, maybe this is just the wrong person. Maybe that's why I am.
Both players keep a 7, and Check Thieves starts on Tarn. Sweet. Oh, nice background, TRM.
What?
I love the your computer background is the. What is that from Cons of Tarkir?
No, that is the Magic Online. That's a vintage master art for Time Walk.
Oh,
no, sorry, no, that's a different computer. This is Cracks of Fate. Yeah, this is from
Cracks of Fate
from Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
I don't know why my computer background was shown, but
look, I mean, I don't know either, but it was sweet. So yeah, Barbells has a relatively powerful control hand. He has a Counter Squall. He can cast a
Counter Squall can counter a back to basics. So
yeah,
Deed can come down and be insurance against back to basics later because it doesn't care about what type of mana you funnel into it.
Yeah, discards a Mind's Desire to end step from Injun Joe instead of playing an island. That is rough. Not hitting your land drops on High Tide is.
Yeah, that kind of needs a bunch of lands to go off.
Right? It's kind of the biggest problem.
It's kind of how the deck operates.
And Thoughtseize here is going to get countered, which is probably going to get countered back. We'll see. I just wanted to see the hand. Thoughtseize gets remanded.
I'm trying to get to contact Injun Joe to set it up, but so far.
And the remand resolves. Interesting that the remand would resolve, considering that his opponent knows that he's stuck on lands, and anything that he can do to, I mean, A, Thoughtseize is really good, and B, anything he can do to keep his opponent from drawing more cards is ideal. But maybe we're waiting on this. Waiting on this miscalculation to counter, like, obviously a back to basics would be pretty sweet. Thoughtseize's Spell Pierce here. We may see the Spell Pierce get countered because Thoughtseize is so important. Thoughtseizing away High Tide is like the end of the game for the High Tide player, but it does make things significantly more difficult because you have to find a way to actually get it back. Which is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
And yeah, after much deliberation, he's just gonna pay for the Spell Pierce because he had 2 mana open. And Thoughtseize is going to resolve. Show me that hand. Thoughtseize sees Flood of Recollection, Factor Fiction, Dizzy Spell, Brain Geyser, Mana Drain, and Jace Vryn's Prodigy, and he takes Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Injun Joe finds the third island and is probably gonna Dizzy Spell or just pass. Just passes.
What does Dizzy Spell even do?
Transmutes for High Tide.
Okay, transmutes for High Tide. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you meant like cast Dizzy Spell. I was like,
No,
that's no. I don't think that's how that cat works.
And
I think it gives a creature -3/-0.
Barbells fucks up on his engineered explosives on MTGO. You have to declare your X on Moto before you pay for it.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Not as convenient as it could be.
Magic Online is a quality program.
TRM, could you shift the Moto window around a little so the 0/0 is centered a little more?
I have tried to get. I think that this is as good as it
is. This as close as it gets? Okay.
Because like the point is that if I make the thing, we have if I put the 0/0 centered on the white space, we have a bunch of space at the bottom that we're not using.
Right. Fair enough. Deathward Shaman gets mana drained.
So maybe that's something we can try to get fixed in the layout later.
Interesting that Deathward Shaman would get mana drained, and we're gonna see Counter Squall come out to take care of the mana drain there.
Yeah.
So Deathward Shaman resolves. So now
Deathward Shaman is pressure. Plus it can exile High Tide from the graveyard, which can be a big game.
Yeah, that's super important. So we're gonna Flood of Recollection back mana drain instead of like Dizzy Spelling, transmuting Dizzy Spell for High Tide, and then like waiting to Flood of Recollection High Tide.
Alright, so update on the Injunjo's hand cam.
Yes.
He has not responded me, but the email that he called me from wasn't the same email that he said in the forum, so I tried contacting him on the email that he said on the forum. But
it's, you know, Jace the Mind Sculptor eats a mana drain, and now Joe has a lot of mana available. Unfortunately, almost every card in his hand only blue mana, like very little generic costs, but I'm sure that's something that can be handled. 6 lands.
Barbells is kind of stuck on lands here.
I mean, yeah. Thoth sees Island, Spellseeker into the Royal.
I'm assuming
separates into Island into the Royal and Spellseeker, and we're gonna take the Spellseeker here.
Yeah, Spellseeker is kind of integral to the plan. Doesn't hit a counter spell.
No mana left.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, also, and I guess there is the Condescend. But Condescend is starting to rapidly lose utility here, right?
Yeah, when you're playing a 6 lands, Condescend's a lot worse.
Yeah.
We're going to Spellseeker for Mystical Tutor. I don't know what the line is here. I don't play enough Mono Blue High Tide to know why you would get Mystical Tutor over. I guess he's got Spell in hand just to find the High Tide anyway.
It makes Storm?
I mean, yes, but it also discards a card to make Storm.
What are you Mystical Tutoring for if it's not High Tide?
I don't know. I honestly, I do not have any clue. We're gonna find out because it goes into the revealed card zone. But
so okay, we actually know that his hand is Brain Geyser and Dizzy Spell, and now Time Spiral. Okay, so he's okay. Time Spiral is on the top of the deck.
Yeah. So Brain Geyser and Dizzy Spell. What happened to Flood of Recollection?
I don't know, but
did he get exiled?
Was Brain Geyser cast?
Flood of Recollection got exiled after bringing back Mana Drain. That's,
yeah. Flood of Recollection.
Yeah. Going to Dizzy Spell for High Tide, and
cast High Tide, untap a bunch of lands with the Genelabra and cast Time.
See where this goes, I guess.
He is going to pass after tutoring for High Tide.
Yes.
Why?
Maybe he wants more mana on top.
He wants to try, I guess.
He wants to try going off with like all of his mana, I guess.
Yeah. Barbells exiles his whole graveyard to dig through time. I mean, you're the risk of passing with High Tide here is that your opponent digs through time and then finds an answer for your dig through time and is just your High Tide and is just like
Both of these decks are running Narset then.
Both of these decks are running Narset.
Narset
3 Narsets
Narset
today
in
the
Check
tournament?
Thieves cannot be correct. I mean, it is insane here, but yeah, it's very good here.
We have 3 Narsets in the tournament today. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's wow. Windy, are you running Narset?
I'm sure not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Card's not good in my deck.
I think I considered running it in my deck. I ultimately decided against it, but
I
would imagine
do not like Narset.
running it in the roll deck. I'm not that.
I want to get a Japanese one.
Oh, the Japanese promo?
Same. I want to get one for my Engage deck.
I have a friend who was hounding, and I think he eventually did foil Japanese Narset.
Good.
Pretty sweet.
I got my Japanese Healy, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean,
The
those are the
Japanese
ones I
Healy-
want. I want the Japanese Sail and the Japanese Narset for to like put in my Highlander box.
Yeah, the Sea Healy is the one I'm actually playing, so.
Right.
I mean, I want to
See,
cast a
seems pretty
Healy.
sick.
I don't have one yet somehow after drafting 80 billion times, but I definitely want.
Oh my god!
I'm dying. It's fine. I definitely want to try Sahili out and see how that goes.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at you. That is most.
Him to Turak into the reveal cards, though, huh?
That's the most rapturous laugh I have ever heard in my entire life. Or a cough. That was horrible.
So remember that High Tide? I was talking
Occasionally I
about
die a
getting
little
Thoughtseize?
bit. It's okay.
Jesus, dude.
Remember us talking about that High Tide getting Thoughtseize?
Yeah.
Him to Turak.
Inventory just resolves?
What?
What?
The hand is Brain Geyser Time Bottle. What's it gonna do?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so the High Tide's the only thing in hand now.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Injun Joe is in a tough spot.
Look, I absolutely would have cast the High Tide trying to go up before your opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
who's clearly on
well,
black
exactly.
has some sort of hand attack.
Yeah.
Like I was saying there is that like he took the risk by passing there. I mean
Yeah.
the payoff is you get to start your High Tide turn with 3 more lands untapped and 1 more card in hand.
Yeah.
But-
The thing is, if you cast High Tide there, you get 4 mana, you get to untap 4 lands, so you have
Yeah.
8 mana, you have a Time Spiral, you get to untap more lands. You're already going off.
Yeah,
You're
I
already
think
good.
the risk reward matrix was pretty good for going off on that turn.
What was the
but
top deck here that caused this time? So that caused this High Tide?
I have no idea.
You know,
Palancron,
normally
maybe?
Hostage Taker can take Candelabra.
Don't you guys have the hand?
Treachery.
We don't have Injun Joe's hand, sadly. He never.
We do
showed
not
up.
have Injun Joe's hand.
We
He's
have.
never shared it with us.
We only have Barbells.
Okay.
Yeah, treachery on the Death Ray Shaman.
I think Injun Joe exploded. He's been completely unresponsive. I tried to ping him on, I believe, every single platform known to mankind, but
Stalking him.
So what's the
Mana
High
drains
Tide for?
this treachery. It's over. The High Tide player.
yeah, I mean,
Why was the
this
High
game
Tide
is
cast there?
not a real game.
He could have drawn Bond of Insight and then get back High Tide and Time Spiral.
I'm
Bond
trying to
of
figure out
Insight.
why the treachery was, or why the High Tide was cast there.
Because
Style
the game
points?
was over and he wanted.
Oh, because the game was actually over. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, on to game 3 here. So it's tense here. As we've seen, either Mono Blue High Tide gets to go off, or his opponent finds control pieces and hand attack to get in the way. We're gonna see here which one does better. Now, if I remember correctly, High Tide is a deck that loses harder to counter spells than it does to hand attack, right?
Oh, well, they have
Or
more
is it the other way
Aggro than
around?
the regular Storm decks, but I think they're pretty
I feel like it's the other way
successful.
around. I
Like,
feel like
Yeah.
hand attack's probably better.
hand attack is probably better, I think, yeah. Because
It's harder to counter.
the upside of playing High Tide is that you get to play a bunch of counter spells on your own.
Yeah.
So you can actually interact on the stack quite a
Right.
bit, but
What happened
You
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
have some interaction for the counters.
But
Yeah.
often hand attack goes under the counter spells, and you can't.
Yeah, what happened to me is I had like 4
I
counter spells,
don't-
couldn't get through it.
Yeah,
is the
you did
problem.
not draw very many lands.
No, I didn't. That was a bit of an issue. But,
Yeah, when
I'm
the
not-
blue-red Blue Moon deck is losing to back to basics, that's usually not a great sign.
Yeah.
I'm
Plays
more annoyed
out-
about the first game than the second game, but the second game was
Plays out-
annoying. But then
Reordain here.
second game was annoying. I'm more annoyed about the first game.
Baral's a pretty good start for
Yeah. Cost
for
reducer.
High Tide here.
Right on time birds.
Birds of Paradise. Probably gonna play. Do you think he's gonna play out? No, he chooses to play out birds instead of either search, library, or Scoos. I guess because next turn he gets to play two.
That's actually fine. I like setting your
Yeah.
mana up. So
And
I
now
don't
it
think it's
can be-
necessarily bad. But
And now it can be bird and search or bird and library, possibly.
yeah. I mean,
repeals
the
the
bird got bounced, but
Yeah, well now you can cast the bird again and cast something else.
yeah. You can go like bear does Kanta or something.
Did High Tide just miss a land drop?
High
Tide
Tide
did just miss the land drop.
They did that
Despite
last
the
game
fact
too.
that, despite the fact that he repealed, he did still miss a land drop.
They did
that
that last
sucks.
game too. They were stuck on 2 for a few turns.
Yeah, and I think that's just the deck dead, right? Is that if you don't hit your land drops, it's over.
You need like
That's the case
5-ish
in-
lands to go off, something like that. It's
Yeah, five or six.
Yeah.
This is the case in most decks in this format. Is if you don't hit your land drops, you die.
Yeah, who would have thought?
It's why we have the Sorensen, right?
Pretty much,
Is
yeah.
it to try and make it so we can find lands. It works a bit too well.
Plays island, search and library. Do you think, or search and Scoos? Scoos is like really good against High Tide.
Scoos is
Because-
pretty decent.
Yeah, you just kind of exile all their garbage. He's gonna choose to keep up a counterspell here, which is
Okay.
a
Defense.
completely defensible play.
Although,
Yeah.
does he? Can he? Oh yeah, he has birds.
I don't know why you would choose to play Search for Escanta over Library if you were
Well,
just gonna keep up
You
counterspell.
want
Search
Search
for
Escanta
Escanta is sweet.
Yeah.
I agree that Search for Escanta is sweet, but the hand selection you get from
I mean,
What's it
also, it might have been that you wanted the Search to get countered.
fair.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that library, the search is more time sensitive. I think than library because it needs more time. So like,
Yeah. Okay.
if
You're
Search
trying
for
to flip
Escanta gets on the turn, gets on the battlefield early, can start churning through the top of your library to flip early. Whereas the like Sylvan Library has no wind up. The moment that it hits the battlefield and you're on top with it, it immediately starts doing its thing exactly as effectively as if you had played one turn earlier. You just get more turns on it, which is quite good.
We're all beatdown plan here.
Yeah. Tutors with Merchant Scroll. So, the Baral interaction with Remand allows him to kind of... He gets to draw and discard and then draw a card.
Other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, draw, then discard. Which
Yeah.
is
And
bad.
that works if
so-
that works if you remake your own spell too.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so sweet.
You do that in you do that sometimes in Modern Storm,
Modern
where
Storm,
you
yeah.
remand your own grape shot and then get to loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to draw.
Remaining
and
your own
draw
grape
and then
shot
loot and then grape
is
shot.
so sick. You get to get all the storm copies and then take it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Or in this
storm
case-
them again.
Or in this case, you can do it with Mind Desire.
Or
Hero's
Mind's Desire.
Downfall-
Mind's Desire is a card.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hero's Downfall targets Baral, Chief of Compliance. So,
Looks like it
do you
doesn't
think
resolve.
Injun Joe is supposed to counter this or not?
Probably.
He opted to counter it.
Counter
know.
draw instead of counter bounce.
Well,
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, assumingly Injun Joe's trying to find something like a high time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Engine Joe,
Goodbye.
I think, is
Mind's
just trying
Desire.
to turbo
Whoa.
go off, right? He's not interested in interacting too much. He's
This
just
deck has
wants-
enough ways to get that Mind Desire back.
Well, he presumably he merchant scrolled for High Tide, right?
That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, duress here.
Speaking of high tide, goodbye.
Tapped out for duress, and that's the reason that you kind of don't want to play. You don't want to counter the thing that kills Baral. But
The Cryptic wouldn't be castable if Brawl wasn't in play.
exactly, you kind of don't have a choice. At least we get to see the hand here.
Yeah, we
Not
do.
gonna see a.
No, Force of Will.
I was just about to say not gonna see a force of.
But you are going to see a Forza. So,
Uncanny.
Speaking
Forcible
of
exiles.
cards that have a bunch of, they have 3 blue peeps in them. What do you guys think of that new counterspell from Modern Horizon? Archmage's
want
Charm?
to-
Oh, yeah, Sorcerer's Charm or whatever.
I think
I
it's
wanted Mediate,
Archmage's
I'm not
Charm.
playing it.
Card seems like it will be played in mono blue decks.
I'm playing it probably in Blue Moon. I think
I
it's-
played a control decks. I don't want to play it in my tempo deck.
I don't think you can consistently hit blue on turn 3, but maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you're just like looking.
I mean, and yet we're casting
I mean,
here. We're casting.
I can
Never
absolutely hit consistently blue on turn 3.
Okay.
The deck plays
I
like 2
believe-
mountains.
We're here casting cryptic commands.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, and then isn't that the second instant speed draw 2 that's ever been printed? The other one being Esper Charm, or draw 2 for 3.
At 3 mana? I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
that's really sweet.
Like,
I mean,
okay,
there's
I
catalog,
lied.
but
The
that makes
deck,
it
I
fun.
think that currently my version of the deck plays 4 mountains. But like, you definitely
Yeah.
want to play like the deck currently plays like 4 basic mountains and like 17 basic islands or something like that.
17
That's
islands,
the type
Sure.
of spread that you have.
Because the basic mountains don't matter as much. You have a blood moon for that.
Yeah, you have a blood moon for that. It's fine. I think the best card that my deck actually picks up is the Snowland, the Snowman land. I think
Oh,
that's gonna
yeah.
be
Oh, yeah.
actually quite strong in the deck. But
So far, the best card for my deck is the Horizon Land.
Yeah, those
Or
cards
the,
are
or the
sweet.
basic fetch. Like, I want the basic fetches.
Getting back to the game that we're watching,
it's fine. This game has been over
it's
for
Lots
a
of
while.
things going on.
it's
No,
it's
not-
actually much more tense. Like
Yeah, no, it's true. There's definitely a lot of stuff going on here.
Injun Joe he's sculpted his hand to a serious extent here, and choosing the Spellseeker for mana drain probably indicates get back high tide or something along those lines.
Yeah, and
Astonishing for the second
Barbells is flooding a little bit. He doesn't have a ton of interaction here. We're probably gonna see Maelstrom Pulse cleaning out the Baral, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have a whole lot of stuff going on.
We'll also likely see some kind of. We're gonna see what's the card called? Mystical Teachings, which we saw earlier off of a what's it called? Duress.
Another counterspell here.
Yeah, gonna counterspell gonna mana drain the pulse.
Do you cast down the Baral?
Whoa, Baral discards an island. Wow.
Did the dress resolve?
The dress did.
The
not
dress did
It
resolve.
no,
Okay.
it didn't. It got Force of Will.
Oh,
No,
it got
of course.
forced. Yeah, okay.
So we saw this mystical teaching off something I don't know what.
We saw the mystical teachings a long time ago.
No.
Scooz is gonna target to eat High Tide,
Goodbye.
and High Tide goes away. I mean,
Okay.
here's the thing though. Like,
How does this deck
Injun
kill
Joe's
without High Tide?
still fine, right? He got 6 lands.
Yeah, but how does the deck kill without High Tide?
Yeah, he can mystical teachings for something to kill his opponent that isn't High Tide.
The problem is most of the High Tide kills require you to get 1,000,000 mana.
I guess, yeah. Gonna mystical teachings here.
So, is this deck running any black sources? I didn't see.
No. This is mono blue High Tide, not blue black High Tide. And I
So,
think
there's no way to flash this deck.
no.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that mono blue High Tide it's definitely a more budget list than blue black High Tide.
Well, yeah, of course.
I think that blue black High Tide is almost definitely a better deck.
I mean, even if you're not playing any black spells, I think you probably want to be playing fetches and duels, but this is also MTGO, so you have to pay for them.
Right. Exactly.
Same reason I'm not playing fetches and duel.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna dig through time here. So mystical teachings
Yeah, and
presumably
I mean,
got.
the other thing that you're saying is that you lose on Tendrils of Agony, which is a way to heal your opponent without having 120 mana in your pool. Which is,
Castig.
Yeah.
Gonna downtick Narset.
So I think the win
I mean-
condition for this deck right now is going to be finding the bird creator, whose name I can never
Narset
remember.
gets mystical tutor.
I mean, the bad guy is fine. There is also Sentinel Tower.
Oh yeah, right. Sentinel Tower.
Yeah.
You can just cast.
And Ether
You can also
Flash is
probably
there.
just cast a Palinchron and beat with that.
Yeah.
His
I mean,
opponent does have Sylvan Library and Azcanta up and
Yeah,
running.
like you don't have a billion
good
turns. Oh, Hymn to Torak. Hymn to Torak
Oh,
is a
no.
powerful spell for powerful
What's the
people.
best card? So,
Yeah,
what's the best card to
these are
Mystical
like-
Tutor for? Because you probably cast the Mystical Tutor in response to Image Track.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
the
it's gonna mean that the rest of his hand goes away,
the
unless he has some
schools-
sort of counterspell.
The
Him to
schools-
Turk was an uncommon.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Play Balance Magic.
It's actually depending on how you define things, the card might be Pauper legal. Like it's not legal on Pauper online, on like MTGO Pauper, but like
Real deep
technically
analysis.
because of like how the like stuff like that was a set that had like conflicted rarity, so it was like one of the least common commons, which is now defined as uncommon. But like the set had like 7 different rarities, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient Joe decides that Time Twister is not what you want to be doing against a control deck.
I mean, no.
Well, there's an
here's the
Arset
thing.
out.
There's an arson out though.
Ah,
Time Twister is pretty fine.
interesting. Wonder
Yeah.
why not tutoring for a Time Twister effect then? Is it an exile? No.
Is what exiled?
A Time Spiral.
Time Spiral
Time
is
Spiral exiles itself.
not in exile.
Currently not in exile.
So why not tutor for Time Spiral, do you think?
I do not know. Maybe he just
Like, you're
doesn't
right,
think
there's
there's a way that he can effectively with Time Spiral without having a high tide.
I mean, Time Spiral is way better than Deep Analysis. Draws more cards.
Gonna deep analysis
and it makes
That's a good point.
Barbells shuffle away
Discard
his hand.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
it turns that one card into one other card.
Yeah.
But that card in Barbel's hand has been pretty carefully selected at this point, right?
All right. By the way,
Right. Between Sylvan Library
Yeah.
and
well, Sylvan Library doesn't
Ascante,
do
yeah.
anything. Sylvan Library's actually shut down.
Yeah, because of Narset.
For the same reason you talked
Sure.
about with the Narset.
Yeah. I see. Ascanta puts the card in your hand,
Into your hand,
correct?
yeah.
So
I
you
guess
can-
kind of does fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
so
gonna see
actually,
your Ascanta activation.
I
You
feel like
gotta
I
swing
probably
in with
would've,
this brawl, right? Just try to kill your opponent ever.
But when you're dying to Scavengers, like this brawl is currently protecting our set.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Protecting
and
the north side seems
Scavenger
valid.
Ooze can actually eat a bunch, like, has Scavenger Ooze hit even the high tide? It has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no high
was
tide.
So
huge.
we're officially in low tide mode.
Yeah.
as
You're gonna make any
Kanta, as Kanta.
I've heard that's Canton mostly.
I will say as Kanta, up to and excluding the point that I think it becomes the incorrect pronunciation.
I usually say Ascanta, but
It doesn't matter that much. It's a made up word.
Yeah.
Probably
I can do it.
as Kanta is correct, but
I can do it on a dial bird. I cannot do it with 6 long ones.
yeah.
the
Going
schools
to-
has picked up a counter, so now the
Yeah,
Baral
it's-
has-
How? Just gonna
You need a Scare God.
chump the Baral? Is
not-
Narset that important?
Yes.
To shut down Slibrary, I guess.
Yeah, also this
Oh,
Jace.
Jace the Mind
Which is now going to win the
Sculptor.
game the fair way.
I guess, yeah.
Better than all.
Like, the
Injun
Jace
Joe
Joe
is-
Injun Joe has suddenly become in a tough spot. He's
Jace
drawn a
Summon
bunch of
Sculptor
cards
will
with
do
deep
that to you.
analysis.
like,
Drew a
those
bunch of cards with
are
deep analysis, but still,
So it's
I
worth
mean, the high tide being
mentioning
in
that
exile.
Barbells cannot brainstorm with Jace.
Yep.
no.
However, this Jace can just win the game.
Going to call to mind to return
Cryptic command.
Cryptic. But like,
Looks to use it to tap the creatures and draw a card to keep him from killing Narset again.
Also,
I
we have
mean,
this-
but that
Or
doesn't
Sprout
win you the
He's
game,
no-
right?
His hand has Dark Feather and Brainstorm in it.
Wait. He's choosing not to call to mind back a dig through time? That cannot be correct.
Wants to protect his Narset, I guess, because their opponent is doing all the card draw things in the world.
Like, this Narset is actually holding back a lot of Barbell spells, right? Currently...
Well, right, but like, okay, if you never win the game, you lose the game, right? And he's just not doing anything
Yeah, but
to
you're-
win the game.
it's
If you are also
fine.
presently losing the game on board, you absolutely need to do something right.
Yeah, that's
Like if you let Narset die, you probably also just lose the game. So you need to try and buy yourself some time to actually win the game.
I guess.
That's how
it would be
control
nice
decks
to
work.
see Injun Joe's hand and nobody's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
it
Injured
could
Joe
be
is on a
interesting.
control deck right now. There's no combo kill anymore, so it's just a control deck.
Well, it's just a control deck, but how do you win?
Birds.
Birds.
You need to buy yourself time so you don't die while you're figuring out your birds.
And find
Snap. Goodbye. Snap news is not allowed to stick around on the table.
Yeah, but all of these are card disadvantage plays, which, and also
Yeah.
like, you know, there is a Jace the Mind Sculptor that is happening. That's like a thing that we're doing with our life.
sad robot.
So like, even if you hit bouncing these coups, like this Jace will kill you.
Yeah, Jason's gonna
Yeah,
kill you at some point, but like
Yeah.
I definitely understand trying not to die, but not having cards that actually win the game is a problem.
He's drawn 40 cards.
Mission briefing.
Yeah, he's.
Do you see the number of cards left in Injun Joe's library?
Yeah,
That's
they're
a
mission
he's
briefing time
39
twister,
cards
right?
deep right now.
That should never happen in a game.
Mission briefing time twister. Okay, we're gonna put a time twister
Look.
on the stack.
I don't think you understand.
There we
I've been playing a bunch of standard on Arena recently, and I've been playing Esper Control, and I routinely end game with like 5 cards left in my library.
That's
Yep.
so dope. Oh.
Because like you maybe like the only way that you can win the game is like with your Ugin or by looping Oath of Kaya
Nice.
with your little Teferi. So like
Time Twister resolve.
I mean Barbells hand was kind of garbage. To be fair.
Discard your hand. I'm gonna draw 6 cards. Nerd.
Yeah. Well, or you also get to draw a card.
Yeah, Barbells hand
Yeah, but-
was like a cast down that kind of didn't do anything.
Yep.
I
And
guess
now-
that
now
his hand
we
is
should probably
just
cast
Brainstorm?
the-
That's not better.
No, way worse.
Versus
As
Dark
Conta finds
Arcana.
Duress, which is really good.
Yeah, and actually these 2/4 can block the 2/2 to protect the base.
Another Force of Will? Wow.
Duress gets
Injun Joe is
Duress
trying
had
as hard
gotten
as
Force of
possible.
Will twice this
High
game.
Tide is still in exile though. Like, how do you
Yeah.
win?
Birds.
Birds.
Your opponent is taking up a Jace. In 2 turns, you die to Jace.
Well, you cast the thing that makes birds, and then cast the spell, and then untap punch chase.
You cast a thing. Oh, you cast.
No, Barbells tapped
Ring
his,
Mystic?
one of his green sources for this Duress. Why didn't he
Oh.
cast the Courser? Well, never mind. He has a birds. Why didn't he cast
Yeah.
the Courses?
To keep up as can't I imagine?
Yeah, maybe the plan is to keep up
Accurate.
Escanta.
More
Mission
fast.
Briefing. Into the Royal. Into the Royal. That's a thing that doesn't die.
Yeah, Into the Royal can reset the Jace.
How
Yeah.
how does the High Tide player not lose here?
Birds!
We're telling you, you play a win condition at some point, because it is a control deck, it has a win condition somewhere.
Like, you're playing Murmuring Mystic or Saheelier.
Yeah, you play Murmuring Mystic and then you make some birds.
So you take this mission briefing mana drain, and then use the mission briefing. Nope.
You
take
take
the-
Mission
you take
Briefing
the Mission
into the
Briefing
Royal.
into the
This
Royal,
is
yeah.
not a hard choice, I would say.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you into the Royal Jace, probably without kicker, maybe with kicker, and then for mana drain on the way back down.
I mean, the I can't remember what it's called. Like the there's the artifact that shoots for 1 equal to the times the cast instant sorcery this turn. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
win as well.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
Sentinel Tower or Aetherflux Reservoir could technically end the
I
game.
mean, Sentinel Tower more than Interflux Reservoir.
Yeah.
You can win
Yeah.
fairly with Sentinel Tower. with reason.
Yeah, F plus is really hard to
Interflux
win with
Reservoir,
them,
that
fairly.
might be a bit of a long shot.
It's
I mean, it's
hard.
doable.
It's doable, but it's more of a long shot.
So the other thing is, they one of them has to win this game within the next 6 minutes on their clock.
Yeah,
Game
right?
ending in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, true.
Into
Speed
the
run.
Royal, gonna pass. Maybe this is just Injun Joe's game now because he countered
Okay,
Jace
why
and-
is this Ascanta never active? Ooh, Thief of Sanity?
Thief of Sanity.
Have we seen this Ascanta be activated?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple times. It got duress.
I was wondering if maybe he thought that Ascanta got killed by the Narset.
No.
Looks like I found a Sylvan Scrying in this case.
Mission Briefing. Do you think Mission Briefing's gonna get back into the Royal? Just bounce. Oh. Engulf the Shore. Card's so sick.
Yeah.
Bounces
Fun.
back Thief of Sanity and draws a card. I mean, he's hitting his opponent with the sad rope. Maybe this just does it.
Maybe the sad robot is the win. Was the
I
win
would be
condition all along.
stunned
Spiral.
if Sad Robot was the kill.
So Barbells
We found a
decided
time
not
for
to cast the sad robot down in response to the time twister. I don't know if he had the mana up. Maybe he didn't.
I don't know,
would be
yeah.
fine. But I don't know. That it feels like he's paying for that.
Some
decision.
Simulacrum beatdown.
We're gonna just
Spiral.
time spiral here.
So Injunjo is gonna get to replace this Mystic Conference for a card.
He can't time spiral. Isn't that exiled?
Yeah,
Yep.
time spiral
No, Time
exiles
Spiral was
itself, but it hasn't been cast before.
Oh, I thought it
This
was
is the
ex-
first time Spiral that gets cast this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Con Twister is.
That's a confluence.
So the Narset has been the crux of this deck at this point.
Yeah.
Narset has like entirely changed mono blue high tide apparently.
Yeah.
Wow,
Narset is
just
Narset, it
assembling.
turns out. It also like
Assembling
having this
Narset wheel.
additional combo of like killing your opponent, like having a free mind twist basically that throws you 7.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I guess that's pretty sick. I mean,
That gives you like a lot of game against control, like a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Well, like, this Narset against me, it definitely mind twisted me twice.
like
And
if
this
you're
is- this is
playing,
a
like,
Sounds
the
like
problem
you're
with the
That's
Narset
only
is that
three or
she
four
doesn't
pieces.
do anything against like mono red, right? Like if your opponent is like
Yeah.
if
That's
you're
the
playing
trick.
if you're playing her fairly, like if
That's-
you're playing
this
her
one.
fairly, then the
No.
appeal is different. But like if you're playing her fairly and then like your opponent is like trying to like cast big creatures like Narset, like
You say that. You say that. I had to kill a Narset as mono red. This game previously.
Huh.
yeah, but
Because
like
my
she
opponent-
like draws a card
Because I
and
was
eats
winning
a
with
ball.
Skull Clamp.
Oh yeah, okay, Skull Clamp is a problem, but okay.
Okay.
Solemn Simulacrum eats a
Confluence.
bounce draw mana confluence, which is probably gonna get countered. Mana leak, sure.
The fact that Mana Leak is still live when one player has 14 lands on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Is kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. In with
Yeah, where's
Solemn
my mana leak?
Simulacrum. Oh my god.
Mana Ranger.
Yeah,
He truly
mana
is some-
drain timing is a little weird here. Wayfarer's Bauble?
Yeah, Searches for Islands.
Well, you.
This
It's
card was
all
in
of
playing
the
at me.
swamp. You do what you have
What?
to.
I've seen this card get resolved a couple times.
Oh god, it puts it onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually ramp. It's not just find lands.
Oh, okay.
Impulse.
Huh. I thought it was just
Yeah,
that
this is
that
just bad here.
No,
what's
no.
David.
that what's that art that's the dude breaking the stick like that?
Wanderer's Twig.
Wanderer's Twig.
And
Yeah,
with
yeah.
and sorry, Traveler's Amulet is like another card that is
Right,
exactly
yeah.
the
Sure.
same. Imprinted more
Very, very problem. So this Jace,
recently.
this Jace might
Flex.
end the Solemn
Doesn't-
Simulacrum beatdown. Nope. Never mind.
How many
ABJ's.
costs does Ari have engraved?
Oh no! Mystical tutors for Cyclonic.
This is a board wipe.
Ooh.
I am
Fucking power play.
stunned. Absolutely
Yeah, the
stunned.
fact that the high tide
Agent
player
Joe
is
still in
winning this
game.
game. I mean, they're gonna lose the match. They have less than 2.5 minutes left.
Oh yeah, but like this is
Yeah, this is nuts.
incredible showing.
I thought this was game 3.
No, this is game 2. Barbells.
I mean,
game.
he's losing base in time like literally next game, but like
yeah.
still.
Yeah. But this is just an incredible.
Burp.
Wow. This should never have happened.
This is good old like
High
mono
tide
tempo
confirmed,
here.
best control deck.
I guessed, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
Goes
clearly a
to
tempo.
1.
It's clearly a tempo deck. You can see it right
Wow.
here.
High tide to 1.
Yeah, high tide to 1.
High tide tempo. Let's go.
High tide tempo, I will say that.
That's what's happening here. There's just bounce spells flying all over the place. It's all a beatdown.
Okay.
Because Injun
if-
Joe is
if-
has been just drawing so many cards that these bounce pads, like the
Guys?
fact that you lose card advantage from it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
If
if you
you
wish to
told
Building
me,
high tide wrong all this time.
Mission brief and Cyclone River. Yeah, overload Cyclone River. Game
if
over.
you told me earlier, like that, oh yeah, here's the synopsis of this
That-
game.
Ninja won the match, by the way.
The high tide player had their high tide discarded, and
Oh
then
wait, Injun Joe won the match?
That was game 3.
Oh, it's game 3.
what?
I came in here, watched the second game finish. You're like, okay, on to game 3.
That was the most stressful game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it
insane.
would be.
That was so good.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and I
that
just
was
saw the
great.
messages about the
That was
screen.
fucking sweet. That was so
Yeah,
sweet.
that was incredible.
I mean, I had some really good games against like Etho, but like Jesus Christ, I put that to shame.
Yeah, that was
That was
really good.
insane. What
That was a thing for
what
sure.
about the other rounds?
Wow.
What can the other people tell us about how that round went?
I won the first game against Etho because he drew one land and I had cards. Next game he just out-controlled me, and in the third game I got flooded and he won again.
So Ethobach wins 2-1.
Yep.
I had both a Chzech that does Great Distortion trigger and an Emrakul of Promised End trigger resolve against me and still won that game.
Oh my god, that game.
Because both those creatures didn't resolve, so the only things that happened were that the triggers went off, and I already have it.
Wait, how did Emrakul not... Oh, it's the
Promised End.
13 million.
Promised End, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
The one that
deal with a 15 mana Emrakul, how do you actually do that? Is that possible?
Oh yeah,
Can
you
it be-
can exile it on the stack. Summon
Yeah,
dismissal is actually
True
is actually a way to kill Emrakul and his trigger.
Good
you-
game, Engine Joe.
I played that card in my
Dude,
Blue
that game
Moon
was
deck
sweet.
for a while just because my it shored up two critical problems that my deck had, which is my academy opponents would just play an Emrakul and be like, oh, that's a problem, and my green opponents would play Thran and they would be like,
yeah.
Also, Mindbreak Trap. Mindbreak
Yeah.
Trap works.
Yeah, thankfully, the Promised End,
Doing
when I
pairings.
first counted the mana, I thought the Promised End, there were 3 lands up for it, and I was like, I can't mana leak this. Wait, there's only 2 mana up. Yes!
Aha, yes.
So I don't lose my Nimue Drake into the Promised End, I actually get to counter it and not die.
Okay, so we have a choice for the feature. We want to watch the finals, which is Ethobach versus WindyDelCarlo.
How'd
And
that
we've-
manage?
we've already
How did we
seen
manage
Ethobach.
that?
Yeah, actually, didn't Windy lose game
I'm
one?
1-1.
What is happening?
I
don't
lost
think-
my first
I
match.
think we only have 1-1.
Yeah, I'm 2-0, right?
I think we only have
I am
1-2.
okay. I'm deeply confused. Who reported Game 1 WindyDelCarlo versus the Insanity?
2-0 for them.
Versus the insanity, you said?
2-0 for my opponent.
Injun Joe. 2-0 for your opponent. Where am I?
The high tide deck you just finished watching. The high tide deck killed me.
So I'm. What?
So Indian Joe won 2-0 against me. And I won 2-0 against this round opponent.
Did I fuck that up terribly?
It sounds like you did, because I'm not 2-0.
God damn it.
I might have been if I was less stupid, but I'm not.
It's fine. You can probably just fix things real quickly. I don't think it...
Oh.
Wait,
Oh.
does that mean I played against High Tide after I lost my first round and they won theirs?
Yeah. It
Good.
sounds like it.
Yes. There was going to be a pair down anyway. There happened to be 2 pair downs because I fucked up.
Yeah. like, I cannot be
Okay,
in the
so
finals
so
because-
the actual match results are Windy is 1-1, Ethobach is 2-0, Gozmit is 1-1, Injun Joe is 2-0.
Yeah.
So it's Injun Joe and Etho in the finals?
Yeah, I'm just like, I cannot be in the finals because I already faced that deck.
God damn it. Why am I so bad?
It's fine. We have had... We've all had our issues with stuff. We got tech has had these kind of issues too. So let's just fix
That
it. Let's
is-
just fix the score and go to the finals.
Yeah, we all
That is
had, we
my
all had
bad.
problems.
I'm very sorry.
We have
No,
all made
I should
mistakes
get
today.
I should get a camera that is not my computer camera because I'm looking at the big screen to like that I have
Yeah.
tech set up on. But that means like I'm
Looking to the side.
I'm like looking to the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have new pairings. These pairings should be correct.
All right.
Okay.
Here are your pairings for round 3. Ethobach versus Injun Joe, they're both 2-0. Gozmit versus Windy, they're both 1-1. Barbells versus Nashty, they're both 0-2.
Cool.
Everything
Okay.
works?
So
I don't have to make the game this
Okay,
time. Sick.
I did it.
The people, Ethobach and Injun Joe, should stay in this call and call
Everybody
me
else
at the usual
filter out.
email. Injun Joe, please actually do call me this time because
Yeah, how do- What do I call you on?
We're working out tech. We're working on tech. We're doing tech. My bad for fucking up the pairings. That's, you know, I'm not good at this. So yeah, we're gonna see some finals. Excited. People are typing. We're getting tech set up. The tournament's been good so far. I messed up the pairings, but it's fine. It worked out anyway. It's been sweet. I'm very excited. We're gonna move on to our last round. Once we are done, if you want to watch some more Canlander, have I got the man for you? Benjamin Wheeler is doing a Deck Doctor stream immediately after we finish at, I believe, 1 p.m. PST is the plan. So you should go and check him out once you're done watching us. It's going to be a ton of fun.
All right, now is my screen shared now? Oh, we go share. Okay. Now I just need to mute myself. Right,
Yes.
perfect.
Ben is streaming at 1. So,
Alright, so I got the screen shared. That means that
we're ready to watch the finals here.
well, I mean, they haven't started yet, but as soon as they get that set
As soon
up,
as they begin.
I'm going to start.
Alright.
Yeah.
I have not drank enough water today.
TRM, can you mute yourself in the call?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna go get a glass of water. I will be right back.
No, don't do it.
What do you mean? No, don't do it. I'm very thirsty.
It's clearly a trap. No, it's
My
fine.
head. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is we're getting things set up. I see that. Yeah, there you go. Things should be getting ready to rumble here in a second. As soon as we get. Okay, sweet. I see a hand. And hopefully you also see a hand.
I've returned. I have the last liqueur that was in my house. It's tangerine.
Nice.
Gonna be great.
Tangerine is sweet.
Watch game. Here we go. Ready for the finals.
Yeah.
Very
no,
excited.
Getting
Are
ready
we
to
are we
go.
ready? Are we not ready?
No,
We're not ready.
We're getting ready. I'm getting hands.
We're getting ready. We're close. Okay.
So we are on the game. They haven't started yet. We have a hand from Barbells, which has an R-set in it, which seems to be the
the theme of the deck.
the theme of the deck so far.
So both players are playing Narset main deck.
Also, we have Injunjo still on high tide, which.
Injunjo still on high tide.
No,
Ethobach
but he's
is
still on the
low
top,
control.
which is the
The convenient part.
convenient part. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. Etho opens on a preordained. And pass it. You have replaced my image of MTGO yet again. That's not what I look like, TRM. I don't look like a moto stream.
It gets a little mixed up while I'm setting hands. Don't worry about it. We're working on it.
I'm on a moto screen.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, you mean that you're not a moto window?
Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but no. So, oh yeah. So, Etho is in kind of an awkward spot. By choosing not to fetch turn 1 and just playing out the preordain, he doesn't have access to white mana and a fetch land, which would allow him to tithe effect, but ties is an instant. He can just do it at end of turn anyway.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Pardon me. Nars coming out How effective is Narset versus? I mean, this Sea Beyond is not gonna get there. We might see a return Narset. Both players Narset.
The old double Narset with a
Tide draw goes up to 8 cards in hand. Double Narset.
I don't know. I wanted to make a turn of phrase there, but it didn't work out. Don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, which deck is the better Narset deck? Hey, Engine.
I think High Tide is the
Could
better
you
Narset deck.
start
I'm
call?
pretty sure that that's correct. All right, we got.
Injo
We
is still
should
in our
have.
Discord call. He is muted. We're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We should have hand set up.
Okay. Can we see Engine Joe's?
Yeah, we should have everything set up. Yeah.
Yes. Sweet. So both players have a bunch of cards in hand. Huh. This is like, I have no way to predict how this game will. Back to Basics comes out, which keeps the Prairie stream tapped.
Yeah. I wish that Modo stop.
We should what?
I wish that Modo stop resizing the window, the Modo window every time.
That would be nice, right?
Yeah, so that it actually remember what size I want it to be.
Yeah. So both players are well prepared to let this game go. Typically High Tide's pretty good against control because you just sit back and do nothing forever, and then
I would say that that's the appeal of the deck, even, right? That you're very good against control because you have all of these counter spells in your main.
Right. You sit back and do nothing, and then when you much mana by that point turn that you, if your opponent tries to counter you, you have like 6 counter spells to get them with. Yeah. Dovin's Veto maybe actually meaningfully changes the matchup.
Well, because it's like one card in 100, and you're not gonna, tooth or for Dovin's Veto very often. So I don't know if it
probably
itself. Narset's Reversal also in Junjo's hand, which is another piece of spice.
Finds pieces of the puzzle off of Anticipate. What does pieces of the puzzle do again? I can't remember.
Oh, you reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You get 2 instants and sorceries in your hand. The other goes into your graveyard.
The puzzle.
We can. Exclamation card.
Wait, no, I've done it. I've done it. It's too late. I beat you.
No.
Did it not work? It's fine.
There you go. It just took a while.
Oh, I know what pieces of the puzzle is. Pieces of the puzzle is lead the Stampede for spell. Yeah, no, it isn't. You only get 2. Never mind. I'm dumb.
Yeah, but like the other, it's better because they go to the graveyard.
Yeah, instead of the bottom.
Yeah, so like people sometimes play that card in Modern Storm because it just draws 7 cards.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, pieces of the puzzle puts.
Yeah. You get 2 spells that you can cast, and then you dump 3 other cards in your graveyard that you will also cast later.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Both players are just kind of sitting on long hands. I mean, so Injun Joe's in a tough spot because he has no lands. Like he presumably he anticipated and didn't see it.
This feels like a recurring theme that Injun Joe's hand seems to.
How many lands is he playing?
Also, I wish that. Why does?
Like,
I don't know. Like, I feel that like I'm trying to accommodate the windows in like the actual thing to like look as they should, but then it.
They kind of don't match up. I think.
When I move one, it somehow moves the other ones. Is this the problem?
Look, there's a reason that you are doing tech, because I don't understand it. Miscalcs the Cyclonic Rift, which would presumably bounce Narset.
Okay, I think this is as good as it's gonna get. I should probably fix the name of Barbells too.
Injinjo has 7 cards in hand and none of them. That sucks. I mean, your control matchup is still pretty good. It's not like his opponent's gonna kill it.
So like, what is your opponent gonna do? Pressure you?
Well, I mean, like, his opponent does have Teferi, the new, which is generally pretty good, I would say.
I would say that if little Teferi, oh no, that's
no, it's not. It's not little Teferi. It's Hero Dominaria.
It's big Teferi. Okay.
Thick Teferi, as it were. Chunky Teferi.
No, I think that thick Teferi is temporal.
Oh yeah, the dual deck Teferi. You're right.
The commander deck.
Right.
The guy that goes infinite with everything. Or specifically Chainveil, but you know. Chainveil is basically everything.
Right, exactly. You got it. So the question here, if you're the control player and you've seen your opponent who you know is just draw a bunch of cards and have 7 cards in hand.
I think one of the players is trolling me. I think that's what's happening here.
What do you mean?
Like these windows keep moving. I have to keep readjusting now.
Oh, you think one of the players is trolling you by?
Yeah, by like changing the window size.
That would be really funny, actually. Oh my god. But yeah, so if you're the control, you want to establish a fairly soon, right? Because
I mean,
as
is
we've
fairly
seen,
backbreaking for well, okay.
Right?
So Tiny Teferi, he is something that if I'm playing against the blue deck is just like often lights out. I've been playing a lot of standard recently, and that card is extremely frustrating.
I'm glad you're enjoying standard.
Big Teferi is nuts. There is so fun fact about Big Teferi. At some point during the development of the card, somebody thought it was okay to print this card.
I thought you were gonna tell me like the Skullclamp story and be like, oh yeah, at some point during the time, originally Big Teferi didn't draw a card on his uptick. It was originally just, but then they thought it was a little too weak and they buffed it right before release. But you were just like, no. At some point during development, somebody looked at the card and went, "That's fine."
Yeah, and it turns out that
they were horribly wrong. They fucked it up.
I would describe that as not a true statement. As it turns out, the card's messed up.
Snap's probably gonna target Mystical Tutor. So okay, so you want to establish Teferi as soon as possible. I had a bit that's been like 5 minutes old at this point. You want to establish Teferi as soon as possible to pressure your opponent.
Yeah.
But
Teferi is also not necessarily the pressure. I mean, I guess if you ultimate Teferi, your opponent loses on the spot.
Well, exactly. Is that you want to get something out that is going to make it hard for your opponent to win.
Yeah, it's not this terribly fast pressure, is the thing.
Right.
There is a question. Oh, just concedes.
Injinjo's just going to concede. Being smart about his clock this time, actually.
There is a question that maybe the correct play is to just Misty Hole for...
Mystical for something.
Oh. Misty Hole for Misty Hole for N3.
Oh, entreat the angels, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can make 70 billion power, and then your opponent...
1.4 billion angels.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's certainly 12 power worth of angels, and you're like, yep. And your opponent is like, I'm gonna die in 2 turns, and you're gonna like, yep. And that's how this game and how the game ends.
Both players are looking at like fairly good hands.
Yeah, we see. Also, I figured out what the problem was.
What is the problem?
When somebody pops out the graveyard, it shifts their hand.
Oh no!
So that's why they were moving around.
You can.
Yeah, the hands can be not flush to the left. I think that's fine.
That's how it goes. Nothing is perfect. Opens on Serum Vision. Injo, I imagine, is probably going to try to establish this Sapphire medallion as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Is that what
I
that
mean,
card's called?
Ethobach doesn't have a... Oh. Mox, eh?
Yeah, Ethobach's going to probably open on land Mox.
Mox is an
Go.
interesting inclusion for a control deck. You usually don't see acceleration in people's...
So Azorius Charm, things you get control gain lifelink, it cycles, or you top an attacking creature, sure.
Yeah.
And just gonna mana leak the Sapphire Medallion. I think that's fair.
Spicy inclusions for Ethobach. Core Haven is in it.
Core Haven is not spicy. I think that card's just really good.
Core Haven is good, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Core Haven, just gonna cycle the Azorius Charm.
It's like Maze of Eth, but taps for mana.
Is Core Haven the one that prevents damage, or is this the one that makes a dude?
No, you're thinking Kildoran Outpost or
Kildoran Outpost. Both of those cards are very good.
Kildoran Outpost, I think, is a little outdated at this point. You have to, because I think it costs you a land when it comes into play. So
yeah,
like,
but that's fine.
I think you have better ways of making dudes. There's better lands that make dudes even.
Sure, but like, what better lands do you have that make dudes? In blue, what?
You have like Moorland Hound.
Moorland Haunt? Come on. It doesn't generate colored mana.
Neither does. I guess Kildoran
generates a white.
Yeah, but like, if you get wastelanded, you're set back so much.
Oh yeah, no, you just lose the game. Yeah.
Like, Core Haven, I think, is definitely like a more reasonable land, right?
No, I think Core Haven is definitely better. But I don't know.
Kildoran Outpost, like the throwback on Kill, it also sets you 1 mana back, right?
Is there something on my camera?
Yes, your face.
Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. Get a mystical tutor to get 4. Woo! Murmuring Mystic. I mean, yeah, getting Force of Will to defend your tap out play the next turn. If your tap out play is Murmuring Mystic, which will eventually end, is pretty good. Man, Murmuring Mystic is
Murmuring Mystic has been doing some work here.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen this High Tide player actually kill with High Tide? 0? 0 total times?
I think he has killed. No, actually, no. You're right. I don't think we have seen an actual High Tide kill. And part of the reason, I think, is that you don't have access to Tendrils of Agony. We have seen...
Yeah, I mean, like, the mono-blue version of High Tide is definitely much less of a combo deck and much more of a control deck. Because you don't have DT for Tendrils, you're dead.
Like, the thing is that you need... The difference between Sentinel Tower and Tendrils of Agony is that you need to start a combo with Sentinel Tower. Or either Flux
right.
Or, like, at the very least, you need to deploy it relatively early during your combo turn. Whereas when you DT, you can just DT at the end after you have generated enough storm. And Brain Freeze is not a possible storm.
It's possible, but only if you find like Palincron.
Yeah, if you need to go infinite with Palincron somehow. Yeah. Dovin Ban.
Gonna force the mystical. I think that's honestly a fair play, forcing the mystical to avoid your opponent putting like an Entreat the Angels on top. Yeah. Bins Dovin.
Yeah, nobody's surprised. Dovin Ban, as it turns out, not a particularly great Magic card. I'm surprised it's in the list.
This card is just like not that good, right?
No,
you just maybe draw some cards eventually, almost never.
You draw some cards maybe at some point, possibly.
Yeah, huh. Commence the end game to make a 4/4? What?
Commence the end game is a card that actually I think like I definitely could see Control to explain it. This card is quite strong.
Yeah. Meditate in response? Meditate is an. I don't know what's happening.
Apparently, Meditate is an instant.
Wow. He's gonna skip his next turn. What's he doing?
I don't know.
I actually don't understand why he cast Meditate. You know the Force of Will is in your graveyard. What are you hoping to find? I guess a 2-mana counterspell. I'm gonna Treasure Cruise. I mean, you go up to 7 cards and skip your next turn.
Yeah, but
don't you just lose? Your opponent gets to Time Walk.
Well, I mean,
After
Ethobach
flipping
doesn't
this
really have a great hand, so we're gonna have to see how if this whole losing thing is actually happening, because his hand is 4 lands and the Treasure Cruise. Obviously, Injunjo doesn't know that, but
right. Draws a polluted delta.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey,
So
could you
gonna-
update the match results so far?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Gonna cruise. Finds Pact of
Turns out there's
Negation.
a lot of fiddly moving pieces with this thing,
Well,
so
a
sometimes
lot
I
of
forget.
yeah. So let me try and find the list here. This control deck has drawn a lot of cards.
Yeah, but they've all been lands.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
I'm looking.
Why isn't he activating us? Why didn't he activate us counter?
I don't know. I think he
first?
maybe did.
Maybe he didn't
realized-
meditate. Maybe he doesn't know what
Yeah.
meditate does.
Meditate's a card that people cast sometimes.
Very rarely.
Yeah, it's pretty much only good in High Tide.
Yeah. Like, you need to be in a deck that wants to draw 4 cards for 3 mana, which isn't very many decks, and also, like...
It's an instant, yo. I
Yeah,
just
but, like,
learned that.
you need to be in a deck that is interested at that rate of drawing cards, and is not gonna let you have an next turn, most of the time. Apparently,
Yeah.
in this case, that's not what that card is doing, but...
I guess just fair meditate is... What? So, like, fair meditate
sometimes you do
is-
what you have to do, right? Like...
Oh, yeah, we can see in the chat putting in forgot about the extra turn.
Have you...
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen somebody skip their turn with... like, actually just skip their turn with the Time Vault?
Literally never.
It happens. Like, I see...
I-
in Vintage, it happens
Yeah.
like, it's obviously not something that happens often, but, like, maybe your opponent is playing shops, and they have an active... they have, like, an active smokestack, and you're like, you know... I don't want this turn. I don't want to sacrifice anything. I'm just gonna untap this Time Vault and bide my time, take my turn later when it's better.
Huh. Fair enough. I've never seen it in Highlander.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. But in Highlander, the deck play the card plays a little differently. Also, there are fewer people with smokestack.
What is the gifts pile for this deck? Call to Mind, Flood of Recollection.
Noxious Revival, maybe Mission Briefing, Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, Mission Briefing, Flood of Recollection, Call to Mind, and High Tide, I imagine.
Something like that.
I mean, or Indian Joe's just not gonna go for the High Tide kill. Doesn't matter.
Just make a bunch of birds. Just
Yeah.
get 4 cantrips. Look, I just want to make birds. Birds.
Look, I came here to make birds in High Tide, and
Oh, Mystic Confluence.
Mystic
It's
Confluence
a
eats a
spell
spell
pierce?
ugh. Pact
Pact
of
of
Negation on the
Negation.
spell pierce.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
you do
God.
what you have to.
Pact of Negation's good. There's nothing he's got to counter.
Notably, at this juncture in time, neither player has Narset in play,
Yeah, neither player is Narset.
which is significantly different than the previous games we played.
the chances of that happening are basically 0.
Yeah.
Playing Narset. Gonna Flood a Recollection back Mystical. Fair enough. Oh, Flood was already in hand. I
see.
did not see. Etho's approaching dead here pretty quick. He's gonna take.
Yeah, he's gonna take 4 here, and there's 4 birds back in reset. I mean, he needs a Wrath of God, right? Like that's what he needs. It's not.
Yeah, I mean exactly.
Mode's
Wrath.
not gonna help him here, but.
Yeah, gonna
But-
respond. What? Gonna respond to the pact negation trigger by spinning up the top.
For reasons.
Why not?
I don't know.
Gonna pay for the pact. At penalty of losing the game.
It's usually something you want to do. Notably, if he doesn't peel a Wrath, he cannot.
Yeah, if he doesn't
crack
peel
patches
a Wrath.
anymore.
Yeah.
If he wants to, because he didn't have Wrath of God in hand, right? There's 8 birds attacking him, so he puts himself at 8 life by cracking that fetch, which means now he's dead.
Yeah.
Which means
maybe there's just something on top that we can't see with top, but.
So Barbells 1-1. He communicated in Twitch chat.
Barbells 1-2-1.
Yeah.
Nashty going 0-3 with big green. That's up. That's sweet. Got a forcible in hand, but I mean, like, it's over, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't even, like, I think it's over. I think at this point.
Yeah, well, you get a bounce.
Maybe he should have bounced the bird instead of drawing a card with the Mystic Confluence.
Well, so here's the thing: there were 3 untapped lands with the Mystic Confluence at the time.
No, but
you
he went
mean like instead of
counter draw?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Maybe he could have been counter bounce.
No,
that feels so bad. I think you need to try and find the Wrath. If you want to win this game, you need to find the head Wrath of God and resolve it.
Gonna Brain Geyser X = 1. That's the ideal mode on Brain Geyser.
Yeah, for
Gonna
sure.
snap the zombie army away and untap lands. Yeah, I mean, he tapped Core Haven for Pact of Negation. Oh no. Is it Terminus? Oh.
Settle the wreckage?
What?
The wreckage is gonna get settled here? Oh boy!
Oh man!
Sensei's Divine Top coming to the rescue here. Holy smokes!
He's gonna get a billion lands, but like, woo!
Which, if you're high
that's
tide,
pretty good.
If you're high tide, is not the worst, but
Wow. Man, okay. So what's the other card in hand? Engulf the Shore?
yeah.
Woo! So this feels real bad if you're the high tide player.
I mean,
Did
I
you
don't
just
know.
lose?
If I'm the high tide player, having 16 lands in play is pretty good.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, so
Granted, the not winning the game, not pretty good, but
the what's the word about high tide? Oh my god, TRM. Just shaking the back. The high tide is
I
like
muted myself on stream. It's fine.
they have mana and they need cards, right? Instead of having cards and needing mana.
Yeah,
Which is like Storm.
That's
So
but, I mean, they have pressure, right? They have these stupid birds.
I mean, they have pressure, but I guess we have seen Solemn Simulacrum get there. 2 damage a turn is apparently gonna.
The birds are like a 3-turn clock. Actually, with this Peregrine, they 2-turn clock now.
Wow. Well, the Peregrine Drake can have Haven.
Yeah, but that's still 2 turns because then means one of the birds is not
3,
getting
yeah.
Core Heaven,
You're
right?
You're right. Gonna activate his counter.
So he still needs to find another Wrath that actually doesn't
Yeah.
clear everything. Cryptic Command
Well,
by some time.
Cryptic Command by some time.
Can maybe tap bounce a bird?
Is he playing Cyclonic Rift?
I mean, he just ran Wrath of God.
Yeah, but you know.
I mean, these blue-white decks tend to play like 4 or 5 Wraths, right? They play like Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, Supreme Verdict, sometimes Fumigate even, or Time Wipe.
Is Fumigate still the best 5-mana Wrath instead of Time Wipe?
I mean, it depends on the deck, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. D-Sphere! Oh no!
Goodbye, birds. And now the board is stable.
And now there's a Core Haven playing the board stable. Dude, I have no way to predict how this game is going to go.
Cycles on miscalculation, which after you have put 8 lands under your opponent's control, not the greatest.
What do you think the chances are that they print Miscalc into Modern Horizons?
So I think that in Modern Horizons at this point it's pretty low because Prohibit has been. Oh, there you go, Tiny Teferi.
Oh, baby Teferi, let's go.
Print what card did you say?
The fact that Prohibit was printed has been shown to be printed.
Miscalc into Modern Horizons
has been like I think Prohibit and Miscalc kind of take a similar slot. So
yeah.
I wouldn't think that they're gonna print both, but
I also feel like it's so close to Mana League that I don't think it's needed. Like it's better.
Yeah.
But isn't one of the?
I mean, the real question is if Counterspell is gonna get printed or not, and it's probably not at this point. But
please don't.
But
isn't one of the players in this match in this call?
Yeah, but I don't know that he can entirely hear us. I'm not sure.
He has a card in his hand. Oh, your opponent has a card in his hand. No, he has cards in his hand. Aha, I ruined the game.
Gozmit wins 2-1 over WindyDelCarlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already got that.
I needed some things that weren't plans.
Well, in fairness, I had a game where I got a bit awkward, but
yeah.
I went both ways.
Pieces
of
the puzzle.
You were more screwed than I were.
I hit 9.
Time Spiral off.
Yeah.
9 as a deck that wants 4. Yep.
Okay.
What if he
gets
draws...
Force of Wield?
Okay. Yeah, Time Spiral's gonna eat Force of Will. Wouldn't it have been sweet if he got to resolve Time Spiral and hit Turnabout? High Tide Turnabout?
Would have been pretty.
And then you have infinite mana.
I mean, he already has infinite mana. Let's face it.
Yeah, that's true. He has what 14, 17 lands.
17 lands in play. Yeah.
Wow. Horrible.
What did the Detention Spear hit?
D-Sphere exiled 3 birds.
Yeah, so birds. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like the word birds said with progressively increasing amount of belligerence has been a theme of this stream. Birds.
Yeah, right.
Well, like the birds actually actively killed me, and that's why the losing my Electric was a thing.
No,
yeah, I thought it was as well against.
So we saw in this match earlier, one of the Injunjo had 11 birds. And 8 of them ate a Settle the Brahage, while Injunjo, Ethobach was at 8 life, so he needed to settle that turn.
What's the probability this Etherflex Reservoir? 0%?
Nah, this Etherflex Reservoir is not going to do anything.
What's countering it?
Yeah, I mean, if he has a
counter activation.
I mean, he can't counterspell.
Oh, there you go. High counterspell.
Yeah, but I was like, what's going to counter it? Condescend against this one mana?
Well, I mean, yeah. Come on.
Solemn.
Oh no! He's gonna do it again to 2 players in the same turn. No.
I think that there is a non-zero. Like, is Teferi can go up.
I mean, Corhaven fogs it.
That's
oh yeah, Corhaven.
Okay, the Corhaven. Okay, we're
also there's only 1 turn before the do stuff.
Oh my god.
Are you greedy enough to engulf the shores, bounces on him, cast on him again?
No.
Engulf the shore will not. It only bounces opponent's creature, I think.
Oh, it's only the opponent.
No, engulf the shore bounces your creature too.
Okay. Also, there's a moat in hand, so that can stop the Solemn too.
Okay, we're good. I was.
Well, that is a mode. Is that what that is?
That was so funny.
I know that this is a control deck, and for some reason I thought that was an anthem.
Yeah. So
if
you're
also just let your call name, in case you didn't.
Do you concede for clock considerations?
I mean, no, because if you're Injunjo and you concede, the match is over. You lose 2-0.
You want Gambler to take the clock?
This is game 3. I'm done.
This is game 2, but Ethobach won game 1.
And Ethobach, you want him to burn more time because he's the one over on clock.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you can't concede if you're Injunjo because you are the one that is down a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need to actually win the game.
Like, if you don't see it, the game ends. So
you remember way earlier when you said Corehaven was spicy?
I mean, I'm not saying Corehaven was bad. It's just that it doesn't see much play because you pretty much
Yeah.
have to be a wide control deck.
Feels
Yeah.
like Maze of Ith.
Yeah, but
works,
like you don't need white to play
Okay.
Maze of Ith, and I mean I think Corehaven is really good. It's
Actually,
just that like you need to be a white control deck, and that is exactly blue-white control. If you're blue-white control, you put that card in your deck. Just that you don't see that often, which is why I said it was spicy include.
Yeah. Fractured Identity. Yikes.
Fractured Identity is the actual.
Might actually be
now.
correct.
Okay,
Just use Fractured
What
Identity.
if? Go with me on this journey.
Plus
What
Teferi
if
cast.
Injun Joe is playing Psyblast?
Is he even
Probably
puzzling
won't
Teferi?
resolve.
He's not playing Cyblast, but it's not gonna resolve.
Ah, that
There's
would be
a-
so sweet though.
There's a gear
I'm
hawk in
imagining
hand.
that this-
Like I think at this gear hawk,
just
he's
can't see
gonna
him,
be
he
he's
can't
gonna
see
end the game pretty effectively and pretty fast.
I'm imagining that this Fractured Identity gets hit on the solo in this combat step.
Fractured
Yeah.
Identity is an instant. What?
Wait,
Or
it
the
is now.
Sentinel Tower, probably the
Sorry.
No,
Sentinel
it's a
Tower.
sorcery.
Teferi.
It's a sorcery.
Sentinel
Teferi.
Tower resolves.
Yeah, but he's
Teferi.
gonna get fractured
Oh.
identity.
Oh!
Yeah,
God.
Teferi. Oh, that's actually very dangerous now. That's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, but it's gonna get fractured identity immediately.
Teferi's gonna take 3 off. He's gonna go to 1.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Wait, he tapped his Corehaven.
Oh, he's dead, isn't he?
Engulf the Shore
no,
can pick up
Engulf
the
the Shore. Engulf the Shore. Bounces everything.
No. But he's dead too if he casts those. Oh right, Fractured is dead. Oh right, it's because he has that. Oh right, Teferi. God, I forgot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. It is now Teferi. Teferi.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Injured
Go
Joe
to
has
1.
50 cards left in his.
Damn.
What? What?
Like I did intentionally say that this Teferi exists.
What even is High Tide?
Controlled. It's a tempo deck. As it turns out.
Apparently a tempo deck.
As it turns out. Is the High Tide still
Nobody
somewhere in the deck
knew.
this time?
We don't know. I'm not sure it matters.
High Tide is still in the deck.
Yeah. No, there's been no high that cast.
I
Just a lot of
legitimately don't
birds.
think Injun Joe wants to draw High Tide
Okay, gets in with
No,
Colonnade.
at any point.
Ooh, Absorb is in hand for Ethobach. That's actually
How
huge.
does he win now that he's lost Sentinel?
I think this is done.
I think it's done as well, yeah.
He's lost
I think the fact that he-
win cons.
Has to
right?
go through Absorb too.
Yeah, he
He
has
deflects
Absorb
and
in
Sentinel
hand.
Tower.
And he can, like, if he really wants to, he can, like, fucking spell trigger for, like, a counter spell.
In fact, actually, we might just die to Sentinel Tower.
Oh, we just dies to Sentinel Tower, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Sentinel Tower every spell?
Oh.
Preordain,
Every
counter,
spell.
counter. Boom,
It's
boom,
a sorcery
boom.
cast on your turn.
I only counted.
It's
Oh
just
no!
Scrap
Wait.
board.
Just cast a bunch of spells and he died.
Scrap or draw 1.
Okay, finds a lot.
Actually, does he have enough mana?
I don't think he has enough spells.
He's
No,
actually
he's
one
scrying
mana off.
4 and then
He's,
drawing.
he's
one.
trying to find a spell off this period to hit
Oh, I
something
mean,
that can
okay,
be
there's a
absorbed.
Latam's
Oh, yeah,
Legacy on
good
top,
point.
so we know that that's gonna happen.
True.
Yeah,
Latin's Legacy, then yeah, this is done.
that's cool.
Wait, he can't. Oh no, he can. Never mind.
Yep,
Oh,
he's got
that's
the
so
spell.
sweet.
Maybe let's
I
count that up sometime.
I fractured
Oh,
it
that
in
is.
your Sentinel Tower and then I killed you with it.
Yup.
Nice. That's a powerful magic story
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. That is some powerful
That's
magic.
true.
That's why we're here.
Best power play.
Latinum's Legacy.
Kill you with a sword, baby.
Wow, that's so cool. Is he gonna absorb his own Latinums and then it's over?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Floating blue.
I mean, he could Revel like get a, like a 1 mana
Oh.
spell as well.
He did a tap.
Revel like a spell seeker.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Add
There you
that,
go.
see? That's-
You can tell. Yeah, you can tell the lore friends.
Woo.
Whew. Wow. A very tense finals.
Big games to
And
go.
with that, that was the end of our last
Good
match.
games.
Wow. So 2-1 to Injun Joe.
Or to
That seems false.
Other
I'm very dumb.
It's 2-0 for Ethobach. So you got the player
So-
wrong
so-
and the score wrong.
I'm not gonna fuck this one up. Final match results for this game: Barbells won 2-1 against Nashty. Yes. Can anyone confirm that for me?
I don't know what the actual match was.
Gozmit won 2-1 against Windy.
Yes.
Barbells posted in chat that he.
Barbells posted in
won?
tweet chat, yeah.
Yeah, Barbells won 2-1. Okay. So, our final match results. Let me get all of the players' names. Copy. So, final match results. Injun Joe. Injun Joe went 2-1.
No, Barbells won. Sorry, Ethobach won.
The end result in Jindo was 2-1 because he was 2-0.
Yeah, the overall end result. Injun Joe
okay,
is 2-1.
sorry.
Okay, Barbells end result is 1-2. I'm just gonna say that's right. Windy is 1-2.
Yep.
Gozmit is 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Nashty is 0-3. Etho is 3-0.
Yep.
And Injun Joe is. Wait, what? No, we're good. That's everybody. Okay, so we have an 0-3, a 3-0, 2 2-1s, and 2 1-2s. Does that work?
Probably.
That balances? All right, we're good. Made it.
Awesome. Congratulations to our winner for this week.
Yeah, congratulations to Ethobach. You placed yourself very well in the meta and then played some very good games of Magic. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Pardon me,
and
congratulations.
drew a very timely copy of Savage.
Thank you to everyone who has shown up for the play watch. I love putting this thing on, and I'm really glad that people can come and play with us on Moto. It is Memorial Day weekend in the United States. Go enjoy your 3-day weekend. Thanks for coming and watching the stream. After this, if you're like, oh man, I'm not doing anything today, I want to watch more Highlander, have I got the man for you. At 1 p.m., in about 20 minutes, 1 p.m. Pacific time, you can go and check out Ben Wheeler's stream at twitch.tv/Benjamin_Wheeler. He's going to be doing deck doctoring, which should be a ton of fun. So go and check that out. If you want to play in this tournament, if you went, man, that looks sick, Highlander sounds awesome, get me in. Come and join the Canadian Highlander Discord. A link will be in the description of the video if you're watching a VOD, or the description of the stream if you're watching the stream.
! Discord in chat if you want to find it. If you want to have a link to that.
Come and join the Discord, even if you don't want to play in these. The Discord is just the best place to go to talk about Highlander, to see Highlander, to really do anything with Highlander. This is the community online other than the Facebook community.
I mean, it's just like great people. Like we.
Yeah, there are so many great people.
I can guarantee you that most people will not yell at you.
Yeah, pretty much 24/7. If you go, oh man, I've got this deck idea, and you post it in Help, within 5 minutes, somebody will show it to you. Who is probably knowledgeable about Highlander. So yeah, come and join the Discord.
But you know.
And then, if you're like, well, okay, I do want to play in these tournaments. Once you're on the Discord, me or TRM, so I'm Eloquen on the Discord, that's TheRedMage on the Discord, we'll post an announcement post. And in the announcement post, there will be a link to the Twitter, or the Twitch and the YouTube, and there will also be a link to a Google. Go and fill that out. You'll have to put in your Discord name and your deck. And then, once you're all signed up, just show up on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern time, and 7 p.m. Central Eastern.
Yes, correct.
Standard time, Central European Standard Time, and then you can come and play. We'll be back next week, I believe, if nothing goes wrong. Right?
That's the plan, at least. Yes.
Okay. We'll be back next week. thank you to everybody for showing up. Thank you, of course, to the TheRedMage who ran all the tech and just did an amazing job, as usual, even through some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're still
one more thank you.
ironing out a few of the kinks, but I think
Yeah.
it went better. I mean, obviously, thanks also again to 404 for creating all of our amazing graphics and logo.
Do you see these graphics?
Yeah,
They're so sick.
But
do you see our logo? It's so like professional and
it's pretty great. The thing is that thanks partly to that, but we still have like a little bit of kinks to iron out with the tech, but it's getting better. I think I figured out a couple of things that I figured out how they work this time, and I know how to make sure that they work a little bit more smoothly next time. And it's a learning process, but it's
it's gonna be great now, and it's gonna get great later.
Yeah, we run a pretty lean operation here. It's just the two of us.
Look, all right. We're here to play some Canlander, to watch some Canlander, to have some doing it. So
anyway.
Thank you all for showing up, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch Wheeler.